Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Encounters, the late night spiritual UFO talk show. Right here, the number one spiritual UFO talk show on social media. Well, we caught up with most of our shows. The show from last night will be posted tomorrow morning. So last night's show was jam-packed with guests, and we are going to post last night's show. All the shows from the previous nights have been posted. We're only one show back, which is last night's show. If you're watching last night's show, if you didn't watch last night's show, you'll be able to watch it on my YouTube channel, Ashtar Command Spaceship News. All our previous shows are on there recorded, and you can watch all the exciting, popular shows that we've done each week. So each day, each night, whatever it might be. Well, mostly night. So welcome to the show. We have no idea what tonight's going to be like, as always. But it's good to see everybody here. And this here. It's good to have everybody here. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of new people finding the show for the first time, and we welcome all the new viewers to Encounters. You're probably hearing about the number one spiritual UFO talk show, a show that's out of this world, a show where we bust the matrix, a show about disclosure, where we interview people that have had, people that have had encounters, people that have, hey, Angie, people that have had visitations, and so to speak, with positive star people that have had abductions over the past 30 years that are finally coming forward with their stories. We help those folks too. We get into also disclosure in many different levels, and part of the disclosure is all of you who are participants in this program. I'm also the talk show host of the number one spiritual UFO talk show, which is here, but I'm also the host of the number one UFO show on NPR Pacifica Radio, which is the Cosmic Eye. So that's every Sunday morning, 11:30 to 1. And then we do that on Sundays, and we also broadcast it live here. Have you connected with I'm Shy to return? Yes, she was on briefly a few nights ago. We are going to set up a special night for I'm Shy. I will be setting up a special night for her in the next few nights to be on the show, and based on her schedule, we'll be doing a special with I'm Shy, our connection in the Department of Defense. Susie, hello. Greetings, Texas. Good to have you with us. Everybody coming in here. And we're just getting started. So we just got a new bottle of apple cider. Got a new gallon. We're just about out of apple cider. But we are definitely here. Please tap if you want to know how you can increase the likes on my program early this evening. If you see the hearts going up, the way that happens is you tap on your screen, anywhere on the screen, and that'll increase the actual likes. So we want to get up to 100,000 by 1 a.m. this morning. So it's only 11:06 in 2 hours. I want to be over 100,000 likes so that you can make that happen. Yeah, an FYP Live. Absolutely. Angie, thank you. And if you know people that should be watching this show that are interested in this subject, you need to let them know that we're here. You can do that by definitely tapping the screen to invite people. And as you do that, people will know that we are here. And you can make that happen. And, we're just definitely inviting a few people ourselves. And we're going to do that ourselves here, because that's what we do. Just letting people know we are live. Oh, okay, I guess I did 15, here we go. Welcome everybody coming in here. I just invited a few people on my list. You can do the same thing. And that's why we bring everybody around the world to the show. Coco, welcome to the show, Coco. King AFG. See, Jimmy James. We got Biz Jojo. Hey, Busy Jojo. Good to see you. And it's good to see everybody. Becca Lynn, Lisa Jammin something. The Joker is BA. I'm just trying to read some of these people working. Just Shimon or something like that. User 614. Anyway, just welcome to the show. Annette, thank you for the roses. We appreciate that. We're going to set up our goal. We have actually, our goal is 8 of the hats. We always do a goal on encounters here, and our goal is 8 of the hats of the roses. Thank you, for Annette. Thank you for the roses. 8 of the hats just are hats with the mustache. I don't think they have a hat with roses yet. And what we love to do is interview people from all over the world. And one of the things that I love hearing is people's stories. We never know what the stories are going to be. This is the way it works. You have to be over 18 years old, no foul language, no smoking, no drinking, no people drunk or anything, no smoking on the program whatsoever. That's a big no-no. No kids on the show. You have to be over 18, and no paranormal discussion. Hey, Barbara, good to have you back. It was great talking to you last night. Thank you for coming on the show and being a guest. And so we'll be getting to guest interviews. Hey, Papa Smurth, good to see you. We'll be getting to guest interviews tonight. So be patient. If you wish to be a guest, let me know what you want to share with us in the comment section. Make a comment. It was very cool to have you on, Barbara. And let me know what you want to tar, Diane. Okay, so let me know what you wish to share with us and in the realms of the cosmic galactic area, and we'll be happy to consider you as a guest on the show. Again, you have to be over 18, no kids on the camera, no smoking at all on the show, on the camera. You shouldn't be doing that anyway. And just no drinking and no people being drunk or whatever, no foul language and no paranormal discussion. I think I covered most of the bases. Hey, for all relatives, good to see you. Your eclipse, I spoke to you underwater people. I spoke to underwater people. Your eclipse. When you say you spoke to underwater people, can you explain a little bit more what that means? Before I'm interested in the comment of the sentence. What do you mean you spoke to underwater people? When were you speaking to underwater people? Hey, Anna, B21, hello, welcome. So the commander reads comments about potential guests. Depending on what I hear, you could potentially be a guest on the show. Shell Bell, good to have you with us. Tim, want to share my time in Guam. My girlfriend was at Anderson Air Force Base. She saw strange stuff. Interesting, Tim. Interesting. Now, there's something that sounds like an interesting story. Tim, I think you're going to be our first guest. I also want to see who this other person is on the guest list here. Oh, it's Tim. So we're going to bring up Tim first. Tim, let me turn the camera on. If you're able to do that and you're not indisposed, if you know how to work the camera, welcome to Encounters.
Hey there. Can you hear me?
Hey, Tim. I can certainly hear you. Are you able to come on camera at all? Is that possible?
Yeah, I mean, I can turn it on.
Yeah, that'd be great. It's always nice to interview our guests with real people coming instead of just a picture.
Yeah, I'm like in my pajamas and stuff.
Oh, forget. Don't worry about it. If I was just say if you're wearing a suit or something or you whatever, that'd be different. But no problem. So where are you located? And tell us a little bit about your background and when this started happening with your girlfriend.
Okay. I was located at NICTAMS, Guam. It was an intel center, and I worked in cryptography and in an elephant cage where we were sending like frequencies out into space. I mean, that's my whole thing that I was doing. But I dated a girl that lived at Anderson Air Force Base that was up the road. And they used to turn the power off to have mysterious craft like fly in and fly out.
Would the so the base turned the lights off on the whole base, and these crafts would fly in and out of the base?
Yeah, they would turn them off. And then, like, I don't know, like at my base, we were right up the road. So, like, I used to sit out there and I'd watch these aircraft. See them in the sky. And they weren't like nothing I ever seen move before, you know? Like no conventional aircraft I've ever seen move like that.
Yeah.
This is in 97. So, I mean, take it for what you want, but like, I saw it and I don't know. Everybody that thinks we're the only people in the universe, you're wrong. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot out there.
And you've experienced it when you're in Guam. You experienced it with
Yeah,
this girlfriend at the time. So no, it's on this show when you talk about things like that, that's disclosure. That's the kind of things we want people to share because the public doesn't know anything. The major media is not going to tell anything. They don't even talk to people like you or people that I interview because they won't do it. It would mean they put their corporate money on the line if they had to tell the truth. You know?
yeah. I mean, I got into like the whole alien thing after that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
once I saw it with my own eyes,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I was like, we don't have aircraft that can zigzag and move like that fast. I was like,
Yeah.
what is that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when I talked to her, she was an air traffic controller at Anderson, and she was like, yeah, like there's weird stuff going on, and nobody wants to talk about it.
And on Anderson Air Force Base, I'm very familiar with that base, just like Wright Patterson. Anderson had a lot of activity then, and I'm certain it probably has still a lot of activity going on now. Correct?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, for any doubters out there, there's something else going on. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I don't know if it's the government or like the media that tries to downplay it, or probably both. But I don't know. I have a good question for you.
Oh, go ahead. I'm all open here. Go ahead.
What do you think? Uh, let's say they exist and everything. What do you think they're doing?
Oh, the
Like,
extraterrestrials. Oh, I can tell you stories, man. I am a contactee. So when I was a kid, the space people, intelligent life from other worlds, it absolutely 1,000% does exist. And I'll tell you, one of the things in my own personal life is I had contact with space people that are human like us, telepathic men and women, and children that were, the children were shorter, obviously because they were children, but the men and women I saw in the spaceship were about 7 feet, maybe a little bit taller, very beautiful, wearing light blue space outfits. And I saw them in a cul-de-sac hovering in their ship in Long Island when I was a kid in the 60s. So, yeah, I mean, and there's a whole story behind that. I started having my visual contact of spaceships after that. And I became awakened when I was an adult. I've always had sightings of the positive kind. I'm a contactee, but also not only do they exist, as you watch my show, my friend April, myself, Chesno, who's not on right now, Johnny, who's one of my moderators, and Kit Kat, we're in a group of 5 people. My friend April's been on the Ashtar Command ships. If you're not familiar with Ashtar Command, it is like the United Nations of all the peaceful worlds within the multiverse beyond Earth. And yeah, life is teeming. Intelligent life is everywhere. All this stuff you've been told about, that we're looking for life. They're not looking for life. The people that say they're looking for life with the SETI satellites and everything, they already know that life exists out there. They've been lying to the world here for, for a long time. In current Earth history, the human population has been lied to about the existence, which is really, at this point, I'm done with it. They've lied to the whole population of this planet about the existence of people that are human, that are spiritual, that are loving, that are in other planets beyond Earth. They've lied about that. They've tried to put fear into people and still people's fears more than telling them the truth. And, it's easy to instill fear in people because that's just what they do. The media does it. Documentaries have done it. Oh, yeah. So to answer your question, being a contactee, I can tell you without any question, there are people that live on other planets beyond Earth They live in peace. They don't have wars. They don't have pollution. They live in harmony with the universe, and they do exist.
In ever since, like, like I told you, like, I came to a moment of realization. I was like, was seeing the aircraft move like that, and Anderson shutting down the base, the lighting and everything.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I began to get like a telecommunication where, like, I feel like sometimes, like, I mean, that's the way they talk. They don't have to talk. They telecommunicate, I think.
Yeah, it's called telepathy.
Yeah.
Yeah. They communicate through consciousness.
But it's nothing but peace. Like,
Yeah.
I've always gotten just peace, But
So have you had telepathic communications with non-terrestrial beings?
yeah.
You have. See, I knew there was something going on here. So tell me, when did that start?
After I saw, like, the ships in the sky.
And can you tell me the ones that you communicate with telepathically? What was their interaction in terms of what did they tell you in the consciousness?
It was like more like they're studying us, I guess, and like promoting peace. I came across like where they're a lot more elevated than us, like maybe like 3,000 or a billion years more advanced than us, but like they're kind of like feeling us out, like I don't know, should the human race be, on Earth, be like a race that should join like their more advanced society?
And do they tell you what they look like? That when you're communicating, when people use telepathy, telepathy is not channeling. It's called conscious-to-conscious communications. So when they're communicating with you, did they tell you what they look like?
I never asked.
Yeah, you should ask. If you're still doing it, I would ask where they're from. Ask all those questions. They're very important. Ask where they're from, what their purpose is, who they are. Oh, yeah, you should take advantage of that. If you're having the ability to communicate with them telepathically, definitely ask those questions.
See, the thing is, I thought people would think I was crazy if I would
No,
say this kind of stuff,
not on my show. Never.
Like, everything I say is 100% facts. I'm not some wackadoo. I had a security clearance, and worked out in Guam. And there's a lot of crazy stuff that was going on there when I was there. But, like, still to this day, I'll get messages, like where I think they're just feeling out if we're supposed to be here or not. Like,
well, Tim, what you should do is, because as I read into stories, if you're new to my show, I read everybody's energy and their stories. You're really needing to ask questions because they're communicating with you for a reason. They want you to interact with them. Therefore, if I were in that communications in your shoes, I would take the step now to say, oh, thank you very much for having the trust to communicate with me. Where are you from? Are you? Where do you come from? Who do you represent? Are you Christed beings of light? You can always ask that question and see what the response is. And obviously, they've shared things with you. Now you should ask them where they're from. After all this time, I would have done that a long time ago. That's the one thing you should be asking them. No one, 30 years ago, maybe people might think people were crazy. 30 years later, in 2024, so many people I've had on here have been having encounters, visitations physically with space people in their homes. And this is going on right now as we speak. Someone out there is having contact. So you're not crazy. I mean, it's amazing how many of my guests say, oh, by the way, people might think I'm crazy. Throw the crazy thing out the window in your consciousness. You're not crazy. My audience is right there with you. and I would make contact. I would definitely ask them where they're from. That's really, if you'll do that for me, I'd love to hear a response as to where they're from, who they are, what their purpose is.
Yeah, you know what? I'll do that next time. I mean,
Yeah, definitely, man. It'd be very cool if you do that, you know?
it's not like I can summon them. It's
Oh, you
whenever
can.
they
It's
choose.
not. You can choose to make contact them after, tonight. I mean, from off the air on the show, you can just automatically communicate them in 2 seconds. They're just waiting for you to say something.
Yeah.
It's that. It's that easy.
Yeah, I've been more of a observer, instead
Yeah.
of like asking questions. I'm just like, wow, this is pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Don't be the observer. Be proactive. They want you to be proactive, not sitting there observing them.
Yeah.
Take advantage of it. Not everybody's able to do that. We have billions of people on Earth. You've been selected to be in communications with them. Don't be the observer, be the interactive person. And then let me know what happens.
Yeah, I'll dial in next time.
Yeah,
I
definitely
want
do.
I want other people to tell their stories. Maybe somebody has
Yeah.
something similar going on.
Oh,
But
yeah, absolutely.
yeah, I just want to let you know I really enjoy your podcast.
Oh, thank you.
I'm a first time caller, but
Oh, great.
I listen to it all the time.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate you as a viewer and as part of our worldwide audience. So thank you, Tim, for being the first guest.
All right. Well, I don't know. I don't want to take up too much time, so I'm gonna let you go and let the next caller call in, and I will take your advice and I will ask questions next time.
Good. The next few weeks, you'll come back and say,
Yeah.
Commander, I did get a response, and here's what's happening. Hey, thank you, Tim. Thanks for being on here, man.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, man. Thanks for answering. All right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is Tim. Hey, everybody. Thank you. Let's see here. I've got 2 more people on my guest list request. Let me see who they are. The Joker is back. The Joker is back. Can you tell us a little about yourself? The Joker is back. Tell me, and again, we go by the comments I see on the screen here. Tell me what your topic is in relation to spiritual UFO area that we're dealing with. If you're new to the show, we don't deal anything with the paranormal, so keep it out the window. You have to be over 18, no kids on camera, no smoking whatsoever, no being drunk, no drinking, no foul language, and you have to be over 18. I think I covered pretty much all the bases. I think I didn't leave anything out. This is a real professional talk show, and I am on the radio for 21 years on NPR Pacific Radio doing the Cosmic Eye. No Tia right now. Hopefully Tia, if she decides. My cat is here. My Mao is here. She's mowing. Let's see, Nature's Whispers. Okay, and I got my cat going here. She always has to talk when I'm on the air. So we're just going to look and see who's out there. Yeah, you hear the kitty, Angie. Yep, she's talking. If she comes close enough, I might put my cat on the camera. She seems to be, she's very popular, but I can't pick her up unless she wants me to. Hey, Tara, good to see you. I have been a cop before. Okay. And I think, let's see here. The Joker is back. My cat's mowing. I think give me a second, folks. I got to see what she wants. I might have to give her some treats. You're watching Encounters, the #1 spiritual UFO talk show right here, right now with your host, the Commander. I'm gonna hold off and see if she goes to sleep or something. She's sleeping in the evening and then she wakes up. Etheric, good to see you. Let's see. Okay, I gotta be. Yeah, my cat doesn't get abducted, not in this place. I'm with the Ashtar Command. My cat never gets abducted. Come here, Missy. Come on over. You wanna come over? I'll be right back, folks. What's going on? What do you want? Okay, my cat just got some treats. Sorry about that, folks. Hopefully, she'll relax a little bit. Hey, welcome to the show, Johnny, everybody. Orbs are not always paranormal. Orbs there are non-terrestrial, extraterrestrial orbs. Big orbs can be spaceships. Little orbs can be extraterrestrial. Hey, good to see everybody coming in here. Allison, John Cobbs Jr., all the new people, welcome to the show. And like I said, I got all the shows on my YouTube channel, Ashtar Command Spaceship News. Last night's show will be posted by tomorrow morning. And tonight's show will be posted tomorrow as well, that we're doing live right now. So welcome. Let's see. So the Joker is back. When you say you saw a lot of scary stuff, again, just so we have some sort of a focus on what you want to say, if it's unrelated to extraterrestrial activity, we stay away from it. If it's paranormal, we stay away from it. If it's related to UFOs, extraterrestrial intelligence, specifically, then we can have you up and talk about it. Marish, hey, good to see you. Hello, Blondie. Okay, Elena Scott. I'm sure I'm having, well, the last time I had contact was when my sister visited me from the spaceship about a week or so ago when I was live. And I have a video that Alicia posted, which I posted on my main page, where you can hear her calling my biological name twice. And it had to do with extraterrestrials that were trying to infiltrate my broadcast that weren't of the highest light with the government. And she had come in and then she had gone back on the ship. Let's see here. Yeah, Animal Bird. Yes, I studied Animal. Yeah, yes, spirits. Thank you for the heart me. Animal Bird. I was always impressed with Animal Bird, and he definitely. I knew somebody, Graham Bethune. He was with Navy intelligence. He's no longer alive, but I met him many years ago. His name was Graham Bethune. If you study him, he talked about Animal Bird, who went up to the North Sea and came to an entrance into the inner Earth and was taken there by space people that lived in the inner Earth. Animal Bird's expedition was very much true. Absolutely, without a question. Yes. Let's see here. I'm just reading. He was a lifetime Navy man. Yes, he was, Rebecca. And his story was phenomenal. I would recommend everybody to understand his story. He was totally a cool person. Susan Mary, welcome. Welcome everybody to the show here. Samuel Bird was definitely one of those people that understood what was going on. He was right there, going there. He made contact with the people in the earth. So we're very well versed with Admiral Byrd, studied a lot of his stuff over the years. Said strange things about it. So your grandfather, did he know Admiral Byrd? Did your grandfather, who was a lifetime Navy person, Rebecca, know Admiral Byrd or have a contact with him? I'm reading comments here. And as I read the comments, I'll figure out who I'm going to. If you want to be on the show live, in terms of being a guest, we need to know. I want to get an idea of what your stories are related to the ET UFO spiritual galactic cosmic area. He served on an expedition. Interesting. So, Rebecca, would you like to come up and talk about him? He served on it. So he served on an expedition. Did he serve on an expedition with Admiral Byrd? I'm just reading the comments from Rebecca. We're going to see who's going to be the second guest here. I'm not going to be, it is my turn. So, the Joker, is your story related to extraterrestrial stuff? Abductions? What was I'm trying to get a feel for your story. Before I bring you up, I want to get a feel for what I'm getting into on this story that's scary. Oh, it is? Okay. So, we'll bring you up. And then we'll bring up Rebecca next. So we're going to bring up the Joker is back. When you come on here with me, I'm going to, you have a lot of followers. If you can come on screen, and if you have the ability and you're not indisposed, if you can come on camera and you know how to work your TikTok camera, we'd like to have you go on live on the screen. We'll bring you up here, and we're going to bring up the Joker is back.
Okay.
Hey, Joker is back. Welcome to the show. What is your first name, please?
My 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 first my first name is Austin. That's my first name.
Austin, welcome to the show Encounters, the number one spiritual UFO talk show here on social media. Welcome as a guest. Now, I'm reading little comments that you mentioned, but that doesn't really tell the whole story. So, when did you have any experiences with extraterrestrial intelligence? Can you tell us when that started for you and what happened?
So basically, it's much scarier than that other guys.
Mm-hmm. So when you say scary, what year did something happen, and who were the ETs or whatever, the extraterrestrials? Did you have contact with them, and what happened?
So basically, a long time ago, me and a couple of our friends, we were driving, and the UFO came on top of the car, and we saw the glowing lights, and I saw one of them.
Mm-hmm. So when you say you saw one of them, we've heard of stories of people having a UFO go close to a truck or a car or a person in a field or things like that. When you say you saw one of them, what did they look like? Can you describe the ET?
Like they were black, like invisible, basically.
But you saw them; they were invisible, but you were able to see physically the body of the ET.
Yes,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it looked it looked like it was here for war, basically.
Mm-hmm. So was it when people describe these ETs that they've encountered? How long was the encounter? Did it last for a few minutes with your friends, or did it just disappear and go away? What happened?
It lasted for a while, and
Mm-hmm.
it disappeared.
Mm-hmm. Now, at the time, when you were seeing this, were you in a country area, in a congested, more predominantly
Like
metropolitan area? Where were you
I
at the
was
time?
in I was in a desert
You were in a desert,
area.
and a desert
Yes.
area. And what state was this in? Do you remember?
No,
You don't? That's
like
okay.
Moab.
Okay. And when you're in the desert area, there was no other people. You were like you guys were on a road or something, a main road or something.
Yes, we were
Mm-hmm.
on an abandoned road.
Mm-hmm. Now, why were you on an abandoned road? What brought you guys out to this area?
So what brought us out to this area? We saw this this strange light.
Mm-hmm. So the light attracted you to go and try to figure out. You were curious, so you wanted to see what was going on, right?
Yeah, and so what it was one of the ships.
hmm So you saw a extraterrestrial spaceship. Was the ship
Yes,
pretty big? Was it small? I mean, how big was the ship?
it was big,
hmm hmm So when you're watching this, how many people were with you? How many friends did you have that were watching this beside yourself?
like 5.
5 of you. Okay, so you come to this place, you see this ship, you see the being. Did they have like a window on the ship? Did it have like a translucent type of energy to it? What did it look like?
It had an energy to it.
Yeah. Okay. And did you have any missing time? Were you and your friends like? Did you like lose time when you were watching this? Did you have any missing time? You know what missing time is?
No, I don't know what
Missing
that is.
missing time is when you actually are potentially abducted by the ETs, and it's missing time, or that you are in somehow contacted by these ETs that you're seeing in this ship, and you have missing time. How long were you? So when you were there, how long were you there in the desert?
Like it was overnight.
Overnight.
Yeah,
So, but the sighting didn't last overnight, but you were in the desert overnight, correct?
correct.
Okay. So during the time period when you had the sighting, and I'm asking all these questions, it's what I do. Um, did you feel afraid? Did you feel curious? Did anything happen out of the ordinary? Obviously, this is something that a human being doesn't experience every day in a desert.
I
So when it happened, what happened?
I felt afraid because it looks like it came up to my friend's car.
The spaceship,
No, one of the ETs.
one of the ETs. So when the ET came up, how tall was the ET? If you had to take like a human person who's like 5'9", was the ET taller than all of you, or about the same size?
Taller,
Taller.
taller. Yes,
Okay. So you were all afraid of the ET that was walking towards you.
yes.
Mhm. Now, so did the ET give you any vibes of like the like you weren't abducted or anything? The ET was walking up to you. What did the ET do?
Like it basically tried to touch me.
The DT tried to touch you.
Yes,
Okay. Okay, we won't get too specific. So the DT tried to touch you in terms of abducting you or taking you on the ship, or what do you think was
yes,
going on there? It was trying to abduct you onto the ship.
yes.
hmm And did it succeed in doing it, or did it not succeed in doing it?
It did not exceed doing it.
It did not succeed. Okay. Well, that's good. I mean, and what happened when it didn't succeed? Did it just walk away from you and go back on its ship?
So what happened? It went on its ship and it took away.
And it went away. Okay. Well, that is an interesting story and
Yeah,
unusual.
another thing, the beam tried to lift up the truck, and then it fell to the ground.
So, were you guys out of the truck at the time when this beam from the ship tried to take the truck up?
Yes, we were out of the
Well,
car.
well, it's a good thing you were out of the car, right? You would have, who knows what would have happened. So it seems like if you had been in the truck, the beam evidently it wasn't able to do it. But if it was actually a beam that was trying to take the truck into the ship was pretty big, wasn't it?
Yes,
Mm. So basically, they were trying to abduct all of you, and it took the truck up. And then the truck, what happened? The beam lost the truck or dropped it back on the ground.
yes,
Was the truck like smashed up from that, or what happened to the truck?
yeah. The truck was a little bit smashed up.
I would say it would have been. I mean, who would be a ship beaming, sending a beam down? It sounds like it was trying to really. They were trying to abduct you, but this is really interesting because the space being or ET, went up to you, tried to touch you, and was not able to abduct you as a human, whatever it was trying to do. And then this beam comes down. Did the beam come down after the ET went up to you, or was it before the ET
Yes,
went up to you?
when the ET creature
Hmm.
came up to me and the people, that's when the beam came down.
Yeah. And I just want to let Rosa know that I don't lead anybody on a talk show host. I ask questions. I'm not. I don't think I'm leading you anywhere. You're telling me your story, right? I'm not leading you anywhere, right?
Yeah, and now are you ready for a weird thing?
Is it related to the ET stuff?
Yes.
Okay. We'll go into it. Let's be careful because this is TikTok, so we got to make sure everything is kept clean and that I don't get in trouble here. So go ahead.
It tried to talk to me.
It tried to talk to you.
Yes.
So the ET that came up to you wanted to talk, tried to talk to you.
Yes.
And did he try to talk to you verbally or through consciousness?
Through consciousness.
Yeah, it's called telepathy.
Yep. And what it said, it basically said something that I cannot repeat on this
No, we're not
app.
gonna. We won't say anything. But we'll just say, put it this way. We'll leave it at that. That he tried to communicate with you. Okay.
Yeah, because I heard what he said.
Right. We won't repeat it because I don't want to get in trouble here. Um, but well, I want to thank you for coming on here and sharing your story. That's an amazing story. And you were in the desert. And where was the desert located? Where was this desert located, by the way, before I let you go?
It was located in Moab.
And where's Moab for people that don't know where Moab is? Where's Moab located for our list people watching all over the world?
It's in Utah.
Utah. Okay, good. I know where Moab is, but not everybody does. Well, okay. I want to thank you for coming on here. And it really is an incredible story. I'm glad you had the willingness to share it. And I thank you so much for it. All right, Joker, my friend. Well, thank you.
Have a good night.
You too as well. Let me just do this here. That was an interesting story. Yeah, you know, I think this one person, Rose, is saying I'm leading him. I don't lead anybody here. I'm a talk show host. I ask questions. If I don't ask questions, he probably had more stuff to say, but I think there was a little bit of shyness there. I didn't want to push it. I think he is still terrified from the experience. I believe he is still terrified, and if he wants to come, I'm still afraid. I'm still afraid, he says. And we'll have you back on, Joker. I think there's some work we need to do in terms of helping you. I think there's some work we need to do in helping you, and I think we'll have you back on. So I think we need to do some. I think you need some help. You know, yeah, I get the feeling. You know, yeah, I know he's afraid. I need some help. Joker. We're gonna bring you on here. I'm gonna bring you back on here. I'm gonna help you out here. I've got to. I'm gonna bring you back on here. So, Joker, I don't know why I didn't do this to begin with.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to help you. I've done this with people before. Would you like me to help you out? I work with the space people that are good people. I work with the Ashtar Command, which are Christed beings of light. I'd like to gift you and help you. Would you like that?
Yes.
Okay. So I want you to do something right now, and we're going to definitely help you. I want you to close your eyes. Okay. And when you close your eyes, I want you to clear all the fear and all the stuff out of your consciousness, because I think you went through way more than has been expressed, and I know you have. I know this for a fact. I know you're scared. Okay.
Okay.
So when you close your eyes, I want you to take a deep breath in and breathe out of your nostrils about 3 or 4 times until you're totally relaxed. Clear your mind. I'm going to help you here.
Okay.
And when you're done, let me know, and I'm going to definitely assist you here. I promise.
Okay, I'm done.
Okay. So what we're going to do is let everything you believe in out of your mind. Just forget everything you believe in, all the fear, all the trauma. We're gonna help you here. I'm going to send a spaceship of the Ashtar Command, the people I work with. I'm going to send a ship about 20,000 feet above your location. I'm going to send 10 of our Ashtar Command people off the ship. They're going to be, you're in an area, do you have like, the area you're in, is it pretty desolate? There's not a lot of homes and stuff like that?
There's a lot of homes, right?
There is a lot of homes, okay. I was just trying to get an area. So that doesn't really much matter. So what we're going to do is keep your eyes closed. We're going to send 10 of our space people. They're human, like us. They are men and women. They are about 7, maybe 8 feet tall. We're going to assist you here right now, okay? And I want you to just let go of all your thoughts. In a moment, I'm going to ask that one of them, the man and the woman, the first two, the other 8 of them are going to check all the energies in the area around your home and make sure all the energies are cleared up that might be of lower vibrational patterns. In a second, one of them will actually touch you. The woman will touch you on the upper part of your neck. I want you to just keep your eyes closed. When she does that, she's going to work on clearing all the fear, all the stuff that was done during that period when you're in Mohab in the desert, and she's going to assist in clearing your energy. You're going to feel an energy shift in your whole cellular structure. Keep your eyes closed, please. And when she touches you, let me know. There's no rush here, but you'll know when she's there doing that.
Okay, I can feel her touching me.
Okay, keep your eyes closed. She's going to clear all the energy from the fear that you went through with your friends.
Yeah.
And she's going to use some healing energies to heal your consciousness, your thoughts, your whole being is going to be healed. The gentleman who's there, he's going to work on other parts of the cellular structure of your physical body. She's working on the consciousness. She's working on your consciousness right now. And you're going to feel yourself at peace in a few minutes. Your whole vibrational pattern of your body is going to be uplifted.
Okay.
Okay. You're going to feel much. And again, you're going to feel this, not me. I'm the one here just having our space people help you from the command. And they're doing this right now as we speak. They're clearing all the energy out in your home. Whatever residual energies from that time that existed, all the energies in your home are being amped up into a very high frequency. So you're going to feel the energy very lighter in your home, much lighter. You'll be able to sleep better. When you go to sleep, you're going to sleep with peace. You're not going to have these fears or nightmares anymore, okay?
Okay.
And you can tell me. I won't tell you. You tell me how you're feeling right now.
Okay. I'm feeling a little bit much better.
Okay, good. Yes. And I can guarantee you, you'll never have this experience again. You'll never have negative experiences again. Nothing but beautiful experiences will be your way.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to gift you. They're going to stay with you for the whole week. They're going to be with you. They're going to be with you. They're going to protect you. They're going to set a ball of energy around your home. That's going to be so vibrant. It's going to be a way in which nothing but light energy can be filled in your whole room, in your whole space. Okay? And now I'm your friend. I'm your friend. The command is your friend, and we will assist you. So that's my present to you. That's my gift to you.
So when can I open my eyes?
You can open your eyes right now. Okay? So I want to thank you, brother. I should have done this before. I didn't realize how serious it was. But yeah, You're going to be blessed this whole week. And when they leave, they will show themselves. They might show themselves to you, but they are beautiful people. They are people that are very beautiful men and women, and they're there to help you. They care about you, and they're my star family. So my star family is helping you tonight,
Okay.
and you are loved. I want to bless you, brother. Okay.
But who could I tell them? Who can I tell what they said to me? Because it's really scary.
Well, right now, don't worry about what they told you, because right now the Ashtar Command is going to take the scary stuff they told you out of your consciousness. By the time the week's over, you won't even be thinking about scariness anymore. They put something into your consciousness and they're going to take it out. The command's going to deal with that. The command's also going to deal with those beings that did that to you, and they know where they are. They're going to go after them and they're going to send them off planet. They will no longer be able to interfere with your consciousness. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Much peace and blessings to you, brother. Okay? And they're with you. They're right with you. The man and the woman are there. We have the other command people in the house too. So you might not see them, but you'll feel their energy. Their energy is pure love. They're Christed beings of light. And I want you to, before I let you go, I've got to have you say this. This is going to be a protection for you. Say this right now. I am a Christed being of light.
I am a Christed being of light.
And then we're going to say 2 more times. I am a Christed being of light.
I am a Christed being of light.
And I cannot be affected by any negative beings.
And I cannot be affected by any negative beings.
I am a Christed being of light.
I am a Christed being of light.
Okay, my friend. Very good. My command people are there. They're going to work with you, and you've been blessed, and I hope you have a beautiful night. Stick with the show, and you're definitely going to be okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome. All right. All right, all right, all right, as they say. You know, this is what we do here now. It seems like, thank you. I knew he needed help. I shorted the conversation too quickly, and he is now being worked with. His home is being worked with, and he will have no more problems. No more problems. Thank you, Shelley Stardust. Good to see you always. You know, what I'm doing now, when I first came on TikTok, I wasn't doing it all. So for me, this kind of ability to do this stuff with the command is something that they want me to do. My space family wants me to be able to do this here while I'm physically here, and I feel very comfortable helping people. And I just think it's important to do this. No negative ETs should be able to do to people what they've done to this person, and they were traumatized by it. So yeah, we have to help people. You know, we have to. I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't help anybody. Yes, he does look a lot better, Edward. DD says, I have problems all the time. I don't see anyone helping me. Well, DD, I didn't even know you had problems. There's so many people on here, I wouldn't even know. Let's see here. Yeah, they latch. So if people have things to share, CmdrAleon, thank you for the hand heart. You have to be over 18, no children on the camera, no smoking on the show, no drugs on the show, no drinking on the show, no paranormal discussion. And did I leave anything out? I don't think so. Wisdom Keeper, good to see you. Welcome. So if you want to be interviewed on the show and you have been visited by positive space people, had encounters, things like that, we'd love to hear your stories. I'm ready to tell the mothership, James Adams Jr. I'm ready to tell the mothership. Penny, good to see you. It was more relaxed. Really, thank you for the tar. You know, I am very sick and need your help. Yuma Shera. Okay, Yuma Shera. I'm not sure about that because I don't get into that. I consider that more paranormal, so I don't really talk about that, CC. I want to be on the show. Tracy, can you tell me a little bit about your background in terms of what you want to talk about? So if you want to be on the show, please give me an extent, like at least 1 or 2 comments as what your focus is so I can see. Tim says I saw one raised out of the water. Okay, Tim. Yeah, and Tim was just a guest on the show. Interesting, Tim. And Nature Witness wants to come on again, and we'll get back to you at some point on that. Nature, I just want to see what's happening here with my audience. And you're watching the #1 spiritual UFO talk show, Encounters. I'm CmdrAleon, your host, also host of WESU-FM's Cosmic Eye Radio every Sunday morning on NPR Pacific Radio, the Ashtar Command radio show. I'm going to see who's on here. And please give me a background of who you are, why you want to come on the show, what your story is, and I can make a decision. So we're going to take a look here. I'm checking everybody out. Wisdom Keeper. Oh, I think I've had Wisdom Keeper. We're going to bring Wisdom Keeper up. Wisdom Keeper.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my gosh. And you've been so long away on the spaceship, I didn't even remember for a second. That's wait a minute. Gosh almighty, my dear friend Wisdom Keeper. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. I'm doing well. We're still out in Texas. I told you before we came here to take care of my fiance's aunt, and she passed about 6 weeks ago. So we're still here, but we just kind of are taking care of things on her behalf. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of stuff, but
Yeah.
she transitioned really well. She went very peacefully, and it was a really nice thing to be able to be a part of that for someone. It's because people were asking me, like, well, how did she pass? I said, very peacefully. She just fell asleep, and then her heart slowed and she was gone. So I was like, we should all be so lucky,
Right.
to have people there, and you can just drift and go, and it was beautiful. So, but that's not what I came on here to talk about.
Right. I kind of knew that. And it's been a long time.
Oh my gosh. So
I thought you were off planet for a while, so there you go.
I'm going to start with because we're definitely talking about, because your show is about talking about the stars and star people, and we're star people, and but we don't know that we're star people because we don't consider ourselves to be beings of the stars, because we're human-based life forms at the moment, and that's it's kind of confusing to a lot of people, but we're getting there. We're starting to understand that we're not earthbound. We're just earthbound in the mud suit that we've come into.
Right. The bodysuit, so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the stories I wanted to share, because I haven't had a lot of contact. I mean, it's constant, like with yourself and with myself, as you've been opening yourself up. When you open up your frequency to understand and to kind of, the star beings, when they speak to us, a lot of people don't realize that that a lot of the stuff that we hear, a lot of the ideas that come in that are very beautiful and positive, come from beings that are above us and around us, and there's so many layers to it that it's really hard to, like, you can't put a finger on it. You can't put a finger on it because there's physical beings, there's metaphysical beings. There's beings that are made of energy. There's beings in other
Right.
dimensions. I mean, it's
endless.
and
It's
yeah,
endless.
and beings in the flesh. So
Right.
I've been teaching a young man in Africa, because I've been having these talks with several people about how our eyes deceive us, and how like our human logical brain tries to like make sense of everything. And
Yeah.
so I've been teaching him how to do. I don't know if you've ever heard of cloud bursting.
No. What is that?
So cloud bursting, if you look on YouTube and just type in cloud bursting, I met Jim Channon, but when I was a kid, I used to cloud burst before. I mean, I would just sit out in the field and I would just make a cloud stop, or I'd make one cloud disappear. So cloud bursting is like to pick a cloud in the sky and then just focus on it and make it disappear. So
Interesting.
it's if you ever watch The Men Who Stare at Goats, that's actually one of the practices that they do. Which again, I said I mentioned the name Jim Channon. If you watch The Men Who Stare at Goats, Jeff Bridges' character is based on Jim Channon. So,
Interesting.
and who was it? Batman guy. Oh my gosh, I can't remember his name. The guy who was in the movie was doing that. He was looking and he was cloud bursting while he was driving in the movie, and he was explaining it. And he did it in the movie, but people have been practicing this. I mean, you could watch YouTube videos on this all day.
Yeah. Cloud bursting.
Right, and it's always the same thing. It's always like, I'm going to pick that cloud, and then
Right. That's the cloud.
little by little, it's gone. It's gone. I mean, they put it on video so you could see it. So it did. See, that's what I'm saying. Dee say it didn't blow away. No, it didn't blow away. It literally, you could watch hundreds of videos of people doing it, and if you tell me, if you watch 100 videos, are you going to continue to say,
Right.
well, maybe it was just, I know after 100 videos, you're going to go, it's happening. It's happening. And
Yeah.
you can't deny it, right? You can't deny it.
You can't deny it.
Right.
You know, so
here's
cloud
the
bursting.
video, right? So he sends me a video of him cloud bursting. And as he's doing it, he's going like this with his finger in the video, and he's going like this, and this cloud is starting to disappear, and then a UFO, boom, just comes straight across the screen, and you can see it pull the cloud, and then it goes onto another cloud, and then it just disappears. And his friend says to him that he zoomed in, and it was a airplane. I was like, it moves so fast,
Right.
and it was and I zoomed in on it because I downloaded it to my phone. I zoomed into it, and I went, that's not a plane. But our human mind wants to. We've seen so many planes. We want to make things logical.
Right.
A lot of times things are not logical.
No, our brain wants to make it logical, but the inner spirit of our knowledge is that it really is what it is. But our brain likes to toy with us, I just tell people the brain could be your worst enemy, and sometimes have to tell the brain to be quiet and let you have the experience.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, we have to be open. We have to be open to possibility, because the idea that that sickness exists, is that idea is the reason why illness exists, is because of the idea. So if we were never raised to understand that what illness is, and the way that we modernize and conceptualize illness, if we ever did come across some kind of illness, there's already people that have medicines in place, with whether they're plants or this or that, to be able to counter that. And that's and we've even discovered that, there's been illnesses that have been cured with placebo. And how is that possible when it's a sugar pill that your illness goes away? It's because there's a concept that in our brains that makes us say, well, if that must be the cure. If I say this is the cure, and you take it, you'll be cured. But how? Does it really matter how?
Right. Well, I just took this placebo pill, and I didn't know it was I took the pill. He gave me the pill, or she gave me the pill. 5 minutes later, says, "Are you feeling better now? You should be completely better." Oh yeah, that pill really did the job.
Mm.
Well, that pill wasn't what you thought it was. It was a placebo. It was a what? A what? A placebo.
What's
You
placebo?
mean what is it? Are you mind tricking me here about a placebo? I feel better. Well, see, it just shows you didn't have to take the pill.
Right. They did a study back in the day where, because we've been experimenting on humans been experimenting on humans for a long time to figure out what's going on. And one of the things that they figured out was because they did when they started lethal injection, there's always a what is that called, a not like a neutral, like a control. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
There has to be a
some sort of
control.
control.
So you can't just give everybody poison and then go,
Right.
well, it's effective. So the control was people on death row. They were giving them a saline solution that just like the bag of to keep you hydrated, and they put those in the injectors, and they put the people in the injection, to the lethal injection chair or bed or whatever, laid them down and started injecting them with non-lethal substance, and they died. And it wasn't because of the solution they put in their arm. It was because they believed it was a lethal dose of poison.
So the brain shut down the body.
Oh, they
basically.
just died. They died. Yeah, like they left. But that's how powerful it's not even the power of suggestion. It is how powerful we are. And the reason why I bring that up is because if we're powerful enough to believe something like that, if we understood that anything and everything can change just because we believe it, then it would, and everything will. And there's a reason I'm breadcrumbing it to what happened here.
I know you're breadcrumbing it too.
Because I want to show you I have something here. Now, I'm gonna regress a little bit, and I'm gonna talk about. I don't know if did you see that interview with Terrence Howard with Joe Rogan?
I've seen Joe Rogan's interviews with a lot of people on the subject, but I haven't seen Terrence Howard. No.
No, so Terrence Howard is talking about like this thing that he built that's called linchpins, and he's also talking about like this different math, which a lot of people don't understand, that there's theoretical math, and they don't understand that most math is theoretical, and because there's still a lot of things that we haven't figured out mathematically, like it's damn near impossible. But he was talking about all these things and tones and how everything was related, and when he brought up the linchpins and he was talking about his work, I did a couple of live feeds on Facebook, and I said I need to find this man, and I need to link him up with another man named Nassim Haramein. Now Nassim Haramein is an astrophysicist that it's a long story, but I'll keep it as thin as I can. I went looking for him 10 years ago on the big island of Hawaii. I found out that he was gone, and then I ran into someone that actually knew someone that worked with him, and they said, well, the story is that he turned this frequency machine on, and it distorted reality, and then they kicked him out. And then so he went to another island. I ended up leaving, and then I came back, and I went to the other island. I actually got a appointment with him, but I had to leave. So this guy, because I wanted to talk to him and tell him something is wrong with your math that you're doing with this machine, but he didn't have any documentation about the machine. Not for the public anyway. Now it's public. Okay, now it's public. But in the middle of this machine, there was a big crystal that he had in the middle of it that was creating this frequency. What he was trying to do was he was trying to create a harmonic frequency for the planet So we would all be back in harmony, in a harmonic presence.
We'd resonate in a presence of harmony all over the world. Yes.
Absolutely. So what ended up happening was, with this crystal, what he discovered every time he turned it on, that something was happening to the crystal, and then what happened was he created a vacuum space to contain the frequency, and what happened was it changed the crystal, and so they started studying the crystal, and when they started studying the crystal, now they sell those crystals on his website for like $1,200. They're like,
Oh my gosh.
right. So so after the first story, I did another Facebook Live, and then I was talking about the crystal. Sure enough, somebody messages me and says, I have one. And I was like, wow. Okay. So, as I'm looking online at the crystal, what they studied about the crystal was, as that frequency changed the vibration of this humongous crystal that was in the middle of this. Because if you guys look up Nassim Harriman, you can find it online. You can find that the machine, the harmonic machine that he made, and there's like 4 blue posts in there that holds this mega crystal in there.
Wow.
They ended up cutting up the crystal and selling it. And so I think that's what they're doing now, is they're just producing this crystal, which makes it changes the chemical structure of water to be more in balance, and it makes food grow faster. This crystal, so that's the studies that were doing it before, right? So this person brings me the crystal, and I'm like. And she actually let me hold on to it for a while. I'll show it to you. Give me a second. Let me pull this out here.
Okay, so that's the crystal that they're selling.
Yes, this is the one that they sell.
And so if you have that crystal, what does that crystal, like if I had that crystal, let's say 5 of us in a room had that crystal, what's that crystal going to do with the vibrational patterns? So
the idea is, well, okay, so what this crystal is going to do for one person, what if I keep it near me, I'm going to be able to live for 400 years. Because the water in my body is going to be able to be back in structural balance. If I put this in my water, or just put a water bottle on top of it, let it charge. What ended up happening was we put this in the grass.
Yeah.
What happened was the crystal, it got foggy. And
really?
Yeah, because I'm looking at it, I'm trying to look at it from different angles. I'm like, maybe it's just my eyes. It got foggy for a while, and then it cleared up. And I was like, I don't understand. So I sat with it, and even just touching it like this, I can feel it. I mean, it's indisputable. If you just sit for a moment and you just hold it in your hand, you can feel this thing ringing.
Yeah, you feel the energy.
Yeah, I work with crystals. I've worked with thousands of crystals. I have crystals all over my house. I sell crystals, and we sell jewelry, and but this is different. There's something. I want to talk to him more now, because I want to find out about what frequency ranges this thing.
Right.
Right. Like she's saying, I feel selenite. Yeah, you can feel the clearing energy of a selenite for sure. But selenite is just it's a primitive form of quartz before it becomes quartz. That's like salt and all these different calcium and all these different materials before it becomes. It's just primitive. This is advanced. That's selenite. Okay, there's a website. I should bring my iPad in here, or my thing in here, so I could show you guys the website. Yeah. So my mind is blown, because we're since I have this, I mean, it's $1,200. I'm like, I'm not going to just put out $1,200
That's
to
a
buy
lot.
some crystal, some, who knows if it's, see, just holding it
Right.
in my hand. I keep putting it right
Right.
in the center of my palm. I mean, and there's one more thing,
Hmm.
because I was talking about Terrence Howard on the video, that they're showing, that they show the crystals. What they did was they stacked a bunch of them in a certain pattern,
Hmm.
and um, the pattern when they stack them together is the same pattern as Terrence Howard's linchpins. And what the linchpin things did, they put fans on it. They put fans on these linchpins, and
Right.
it moves in 360 degrees in any direction. It can go in any, like, I mean, just move like, it's wild. But that's Terrence Howard's work. If you guys look up the linchpins and what he did, for space, like for flight,
Right.
it's incredible. It's incredible. It's absolutely mind blowing, because they're doing the same work.
Yeah.
You know,
So with
we're
this
about to
crystal,
advance.
and with this crystal is like you said, if you hold it near to you, um, evidently the crystal has the ability to change the vibrational patterns of the cellular structure of your body, to put it in transformational terms for our audience. And if you were to, let's say, have the crystal with you wherever you go, you could live to be hypothetically hundreds of years old, correct?
Oh yeah.
With
Oh
this
yeah. I
crystal.
mean, the way, look, we know that we're missing two genes. Genetically, we've been modified, and we're missing two genes that are not active. It's not that we're missing
Mhm.
them; they're just dormant.
Yeah, dormant.
Because
They're
if we
there.
had those genes, we would live a minimum of 300 years. I mean, it's just,
I mean, we should be really living to be thousands of years old and look like we're 20 or 30.
absolutely,
You know,
absolutely. Like
that's what
this,
the space
when I look
people.
right now, I shouldn't have gray hair. I should still look like a 20-year-old man.
Right. And that's what our contact, my friend April in Vermont, who I don't know if you ever met her yet, but we're this group of 5 of us. She's been away for a while, but some things are happening, and you know, the space people. My mother, my father, not my biological parents. I have non-biological family off planet that I will be meeting soon in less than a year with 4 other people, total of 5. April, if you get to meet her, you will. She's in northern Vermont, up in the mountains near the Canadian border. She's been on the Ashtar Command ships over 30 times, and we've been doing special shows on Saturday nights now, called Ashtar Command Q&A. And she says her parents are thousands of years old, but they look to be 20 to 30 years old. I have 2 sisters on board the ship, one of which visited me a few nights ago, came in, and then I have a brother on the ship. So, you know, so we've been sharing information. So, you know, in relation to the aging discussion, when we do get to regain that dormant DNA part of us that keeps us young, it's like you said, it's there. It's been sleeping. It just has to be reactivated. It will be,
It
but
will.
it hasn't been yet. It will be reactivated.
Less than 1,000 years, but I'm, you know, if I can't figure out how to do it now, I won't be able to live that long. I'll have
Right.
to come back to be able to experience that. But give
Oh,
me
that'll be.
I got my
Yeah. And you're watching Encounters, my good friend Wisdom Keeper. He does the Star conferences. He's a phenomenal person. And you're watching Late Night here on Encounters, the late night spiritual UFO talk show. I'm CmdrAleon. And it's just good to have you all with us here. And welcome to the show. If you're just tuning in, well, or just watching for the first time, all our shows are on YouTube, Ashtar Command Spaceship News. You can watch all our previous shows. And my good friend Wisdom Keeper, who does the Star Nation conferences, which are phenomenal, is with us, and we're talking about some really important stuff here, because we weren't supposed to age on Earth the way we have been. Other planets that the Star Nation, the Star people come from, my families come from other planets. They're like thousands and thousands of years old. They look to be 20 or 30. Even my mother and father would look to be in their 20s if you were to see them. You know, so yeah. It really is.
I'm going to give you guys the website first, so write it down, or if you have a tablet or something, so you can look it up.
Yeah.
It's Arc Crystals, ARK crystals.com. So I'm gonna grab it up here because I want to show you the arc.
Yeah. We gotta see this.
So I had a friend that had a vision of the arc. Around the same time I was looking for him,
Yeah.
and he ended up kind of going crazy a little bit. But this is the machine. See those 4 blue posts?
Yeah.
That holds a giant crystal that goes right on top of that coil.
Huh.
So this is a frequency, a resonance machine, a resonance. He created this. I don't know if it was like 2012, 2010, but he was starting to build this, but he turned this thing on the Big Island.
Can you show the picture close to the screen again? There's some people that really want, I think, Ed and Liberty 2020, just they want to screenshot it. So, and this picture you're showing, what website is that on that everybody can go to and look at?
This is the main picture on arccrystal.com. So ARK crystal, or crystals with the S.
Right.
ARKcrystals.com. So I'm going to show you. That's the machine. That's the whole machine. So he built this. He had a big crystal on top of this, on top of those posts.
Yeah.
Before he had the vacuum, and to contain the containment unit for the frequency, he turned this on the Big Island, and it changed. It started to distort reality, and the person that owned the land, that owned the property there, kicked him out.
Oh, really?
And then he did the same thing. I had friends in Kauai. When I went back to talk to them, I said, "So how's everything going on the land there?" They're like, "Oh, we're not there anymore." And my friend, she had been working close with him, like helping pick out his clothes, and they picked out his meals, Nassim Harriman. And then I said, "Why'd you guys leave?" And they just looked at each other. I said, "He turned the machine on." And they looked at each other and they went, "You know about the machine?" I said, "I've known about the machine since I first got to the Big Island back in 2014." Right. And they were like, I said, "He turned it on." They were like, I said, "What was it like?" And they were like, you can't describe it. It was like an acid trip, but different. And I was like, "Well, I don't know." Like, I'm just like, "Oh, yeah." That's got to be really weird for someone to turn on a resonance machine, because his work comes from the Resonance Project. And I'll share the other website after. Okay, so when you put those crystals together, see that formation?
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Okay, now that formation, when you look at Terrence Howard's work, what he does this like thing where they all connect, and then he actually shows the math and like the spaces between, and the mathematical arcs. Because I was like, well, these aren't round, right? These crystals are not round.
No, they're not.
No. So I said, well, then, so where is the energy coming from? There are the spaces between, just like his linchpins.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you keep looking into his work, you can start to see on the other page. Oh, right here.
Can we see the picture? Let's see.
It shows the arcs.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. So there's the two pictures and they're arcing together, correct?
Well, no, they're showing the dimension.
Oh, now I see it. Okay. Yeah. I couldn't see it before. Now we do.
Right.
From my audience perspective. Yeah.
So let's see. I know it's so weird trying to do things from a tablet. But it talks about water coherency. He was talking about that before. I remember. Oh, shoot. I remember when I was supposed to meet with him, he was talking about water coherency. So they're showing like the crystals underneath the plants.
Mm-hmm.
And the plants grow 3 times faster.
with the crystals underneath
with the
them.
crystals underneath them. Yeah.
That is really interesting.
Yeah, and they grow bigger, stronger. I mean, what else they're talking about? Water longevity. So this is a great website for you guys to look into because I'm a skeptic. I'm a healthy skeptic.
Right.
And what I mean by that is, I was looking at his work a long time ago, saying there's some things that he needs to correct, and I knew that, but apparently he figured it out because.
Right.
But he had to get kicked out of 2 places for that to happen.
He get kicked out 2 places, and
just keep
obviously
turning
he's got to be doing something right.
Well, let me see. I'm going to tell you guys the other website now. Let's see. The other one is called resonancescience.org.
ResonanceScience.org.
Resonancescience.org. If you go there, you can sign up for free so you can see all his patents and all of his work.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah. Because I found the funny thing was that I found his papers. He had a documentary called "The Black Hole," not a black hole, but a
Right.
black hole, like hole.
Right.
And so when I found his, I back in Pirate Bay days, there was the movie, and then there was a bunch of his documents on there, and that's why I went looking for him, because I wanted to talk to him about this.
Mm-hmm.
And then I ended up talking to another guy named David that he started doing, because somebody mentioned the Flower of Life on here, started talking about talking and doing work with the Flower of Life, and he was channeling this work with the arc. And that's what he was calling
Wow.
it. Like, I see a crystal, and I see water, and I see these copper pipes, and I'm here in Texas. I'm actually friends with somebody that's here that we were in contact with. She's only like 20 minutes away from here, where she worked at a glass company that was near the border of the Texas-Mexico border.
Right. Yeah.
They makes the glass for the space shuttles.
Really?
Yeah. So they put all these different layers of glass with all these different metals and all these. So they layer it, and then they contour it with like this liquid metal, and then it creates different colors. So when the light comes through the windows, you can't
Right.
see all those colors, but your eyes won't get destroyed from the sunlight because there's no protection up in the
Right.
in outer space.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So they make the glass.
Wow.
So that's how I met her.
Amazing.
I mean, just all the little bits and pieces are coming together, and I'm like, and I'm being part of the Star Knowledge people. I'm going to start contacting people and going, hey, I need to talk to Terrence, and I need to talk to Nassim, and we need to get them together, and we need to because they already got all the work and
Right.
they got it all down, and so right now we're at a healthy point, you guys. We're at a healthy point in humanity where this. I always say, and I have no hope in me. That's not even a word of my vocabulary.
Right.
What it is intuitively, I know that we're gonna be okay.
We are going to be okay.
People are like war this and gun this and pew pew and killing and all this stuff.
I know it's just going to be nope. This earth is.
If I get shot, this is just, it's temporary. This flesh is temporary anyway. I'm going to have a different experience, and hey.
Yeah, our planet is, and I've said this before, Eddie, and you know this to be true, that our planet, this Earth, there are multiple Earth realities, so to speak. Our Earth, even though we have these like things, I don't watch a lot of news. I already know what's going on out there, so I don't need to watch it. I know you don't either, nor does anybody. The Earth we're on is not a doom and gloom planet. Our planet's going, our planet, the pendulum swung years ago for the Earth. We had before 2000, before even 2012, before 2012, before all these different things in our timeline, our Earth has chosen a different path. Now there might be another Earth in another parallel reality that's taking the downward spiral to a place where it's not going to be the way of harmony. This planet, with all its problems, is going into a place where it's going to be way different. We've talked about on the show here, and we've been very, very clear about this. In the year 2027 was the original timeline for contact with our space family, and I'm talking real stuff, not like having a dream in 2027 and everybody having a kumbaya dream. I'm talking about real contact, and that timeline has shifted, and it has shifted to the year 2025 and 2026, meaning in the next year and a half, we are going to start seeing more people having physical contact with the star people from different planetary systems. And this happens to be true.
Yeah.
I have to connect you.
Just
and
so
it's already happening.
Expand more.
You have to get to hear my friend April on a Saturday night with me on here. She and I have been working very closely with our space family off planet. I've known her space family, my space family, have known each other like since we were kids off planet, and so it's another type of relationship other than my biological family, which I have on Earth. And we also now have a cosmic family, not just extended family. We have biological parents off planet. You do, I do. Everybody here watching this, you might not realize it yet, but when the time comes, you will eventually get to meet your non-biological star family. From whatever planet they come from, you're connected with them. Everybody is. Everybody is.
Yeah. It's, it's the, and just, she's like, huh? Well, the thing is that there's one of the hardest things it's going to be for a lot of people to accept is the way that they look. Because some of them look nothing like us, and they're still our star family. I mean, you'll go, but I don't see the resemblance, and it's like, no, it's not about how we look. It's about their participation, their participation,
right,
in being the donors to the genetic process of humanity. And then there's also the, what's his name? Kirk Nielsen and Bridget Nielsen are out of Sedona. Mm-hmm. I met them a long time ago, and his daughter, Kirk's daughter, Bridget, does she connects with the hybrid children. So, and those are the only hybrid children that, some of us are hybrid here. Right.
Yeah,
and some people are hybrid that they can't breathe here. They can't. Right. It's not sustainable for them, so they don't leave them here. They take them.
Right.
So
and some of them also, the Ashtar Command people, in this case, and there are many rainbows to the star family, as you know, they are human. Some of them are angelic beings. With I know in April she mentioned. Some of them are angelic. They have wings, and some of them don't have wings. My family members all are human. They look very beautiful, but there are many colors to the rainbow of the Star Nation of our family. The hybrid children that we talk about, there are people that are connected, and that's another whole part of the whole cosmic realm is the hybrid children. And then there's the non-hybrid people like myself who come directly from a specific family off planet. There are many of us that do, of course. We call starseed, but there's, like you're saying, there's so many different variations of loving people. They might not all look the same, but they are coming from a high vibrational frequency of love.
Absolutely. See, the thing about it is this is why this show is so important for people, is because a lot of you are like, I don't feel comfortable as a human. Like, I mean, I don't like this experience. I can hear thoughts. I feel things. I feel other people's emotions. I feel their pain. I feel all these things. But these are traits of you being a starseed. You coming from a starseed literally means you came from a different planetary system and were a different energetic being. So you were charged up differently. You came into human form, which is a lower density, and you went, this is not comfortable. This
Right.
doesn't feel right. You know, and that's why a lot of people are, because even the logic, right? The logic, we look at this world and we go, this is not logical.
Right.
Why are people hurting each other?
Right. We don't understand it.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't make sense because we look at some humans and we go, that's insane.
Right, we do. We do say that. You know why we say it's insane, Eddie? You know why? Like when I look at the planet, sometimes, ever since I was a kid, I felt very disconnected from, not because I didn't want to be connected. I felt I didn't understand growing up on this planet at all, even when I was a kid. When I had my sighting of the spaceship in my cul-de-sac one night, and I've told the story before when I was a kid, preteen, I went upstairs. My brother and my mother and father were downstairs, and I think my grandmother was still living with us, maybe. And I went to his room for no reason, opened the blinds, and there's a spaceship with men, women, and even some of their children wearing light blue space outfits that were sending me love. And they said to me, "You're not from here. You're not from this planet." Now, I had many, many sightings. That was the first physical encounter visually for me of them. I never had that encounter again, but it was to remind me to, as I got older, I became activated, of course, where I am now. But then I was, I didn't know a lot of things. I was just growing up as a kid having these sightings all the time. And 3 a.m, you get up, see a fireball spaceship going over the night sky in a suburban neighborhood. And like, okay, is that what a kid is supposed to have as a kid growing up? Is that normal? So I finally caved in and realized as I got older and I started having contact on a telepathic level that not only wasn't I from here, but I couldn't relate to all the crazy stuff going on this planet. I still don't. I really kind of relate to it. I work. I live amongst other people that are human. I do work and I do live in this world. But at the same token, I feel so disconnected. Like I try to connect. I try to feel like a regular person, but I can't be that person because I am not from here. So I have the bodysuit on, but my consciousness is not. I say multiple consciousness. What I mean by that is I have human consciousness, I have Christ consciousness, and I have the fact that my family is beyond Earth consciousness, which is that I come from the stars.
That's what makes us multidimensional. I mean, the fact that, well, yeah, your Christ consciousness is your light consciousness, and that's the knowing that everything is love. That's the knowing, and that's like, and so when we come back into it doesn't. That's why when we come back to human logic, and when we hear some people or feel them, we go, that's just it doesn't sit well with people like us, because we go. I mean, my fiance, my poor fiance, still, she's just like, she should stay away from people because if you look online and I scroll through a lot of videos and there's all these people that try to make it make sense, and I go, no, it's not that. It really, most of the people that I come in contact to, because most of my connection to our star family is the Pleiadians. And the Pleiadians, if I ever want any information, all I have to do is just stop and then listen, and they'll anything I want to know, they'll just tell me. If somebody asks me about something, and then I'll understand it, and then I'll say it, I'll go, oh wow. And so I tell people, they're like, how do you know that? I go, I didn't know that until I just said it. I didn't know.
Right.
I heard it, and I was saying it because I heard it, but it makes sense, right? Does it make sense to you, or am I crazy? And they're like, no, it makes sense. And I'm like, when I was younger, I didn't understand it. I was like, I don't know where it comes from. But it was my chief that was like, you see those
right there. Well, what it is Eddie, is that what happens as we learn to become more expansive in consciousness, what we call downloads. For people that don't know on the show what a download is, it's when you are truly, maybe you don't know where the download's coming at first because you're just waking up, but the download comes from your space family. The downloads are being given to you so that you're going to be able to perceive things in a much different way than you're perceiving the life you were brought to. Like when you read a book on the textbooks in school, you're perceiving a reality that the teachers want you to believe to be true. Now, some of it might be in the textbooks true, most of it is basically fabricated or whatever. It's what they want you to perceive in a 3D world. This is what you need to know in order to survive in a 3D context, right? So you must be 3D all your life, and then you're going to have a 3D life with all these beautiful things. You'll have their 3D house with 3-car garages, and you'll have all the 3D things like the manicured lawn, and you're going to have, a beautiful home, and you'll have just the perfect kids, and they'll go to school, and maybe they'll go to Harvard University or Stanford or something, right? That is the perfect
alcohol.
That's right. And make sure you drink,
alcohol.
and make sure you invite the finest people to your home to have a glass of wine before it's time. And when you do
It'll keep you grounded.
It'll keep you grounded. I guarantee you'll be the best 3D human in the world. And we want you to also understand that no, there's no such thing as you're going to live to be thousands of years old. You must understand, we're teaching you how to survive in this planet called Earth. You're not supposed to believe that you're from another planet. You're not supposed to believe that maybe there's somebody visiting you at night from another world, that you have a mother and father that lives on another planet. You only have one mother, one father, and a grandmother, and she passed away about 10 years ago. And so be happy that you're still here, and make sure you give all your money to your kids before you pass away. Make sure you fill out that document, Get a lawyer, get a doctor, get somebody to help you. So what I'm trying to say is, essentially, folks, don't buy into that system. It's a belief system. It's a 3D narrative that we've been, taught to believe. We've all been there. We've all been there, Eddie. We've all been in Earth-based schools. We've all experienced that reality. But the truth is, the reality is that we have a greater thing happening here, a greater importance happening here. It has nothing to do with how important you are, how popular you are. It has to do with waking up to a reality that is of a much higher state of consciousness. And everything's around consciousness. You know what? If I didn't have the consciousness I have now, I wouldn't even have any contact with my space family.
That's right. That's just what I was going to say. And that's what people need to realize. Look, it's not about being happy. It's not about being happy and about, I need to be ecstatic to be able to make contact with those beings. It's literally, if you can just go, if you could shut off not being happy, if you could just for a moment go and just sit and feel yourself, all of a sudden you'll start to feel the energetic shift in yourself. And just, it's almost like closing your eyes and listening. Right? If you just stop for a moment and you close your eyes and you just listen and feel, all that noise it starts to go away. And
right.
Then you know. And then in that quiet space, what ends up happening is you start to hear something besides your own voice, because that vocal layer of the mind is all of that stuff. It's almost like it's like being in a space shuttle and you're breaking through those other layers up there, and it gets rough. It starts to get rough, but as soon as you break through, it gets quiet. And in all that quiet space, there is sound. There is the connection to the star people, to everything else. You don't have to be happy. You don't have, because that's what they're going to try and teach you is, well, you're sad or you're happy. And it's like, no,
Right.
No,
Right.
I just am. If I can just be for a moment, then I can hear and feel and see and taste and touch something that is deeper within.
Right.
And that's
right.
That's yourself. That's the star presence, your God.
And isn't that the key, Eddie? That we are bombarded by TV screens and TV channels and cable this and movies that, Disney World this and that, and all this other stuff out there. That by all that stuff going on, we as people don't take the time to connect with the spirit of our consciousness, the spirit of our cosmic understanding. We kind of separate ourselves from that level. We always like to operate in the brainwave and think the brain is going to be our answer and solution to every single thing in the world that we want to do. But in essence, it's the brain that is holding us back from the understanding of who we are. If you ask the brain to tell you everything, the brain's going to tell you, don't get involved in that. Don't get into this I am thing. Don't talk about I am this, I am that. Don't talk about centered. Don't talk about inner cosmic well-being. Don't talk about those things, because if you do, then what am I going to do? I'm your brain. I'm the person that's here to help you. And no, you're not. You're here to have me controlled to believe what I've been taught in textbooks, and in a society of watching game shows at night, and in a society of watching the nightly news on Good Morning America and believing that's what the world is all about. No, not anymore.
Yeah.
Not anymore. You know, you're saying, Eddie, is so true that we need to, and again, we're dealing with billions of people on this planet that aren't totally there yet, but there are many millions that already are there, and that we need to facilitate helping other people, if they're willing to open up, that they need to get away from the brain and get into the heart center of their cosmic being, because we all have that cosmic being. We just don't always connect with it.
Here's the thing. How is it that the Joe Rogan podcast with Terrence Howard happened a couple of weeks ago, and then the next day I'm talking about Terrence Howard and Nassim Harriman, and then a few days later I'm getting all this information about this website, and then just a couple of days later I'm holding one of his crystals in my hand?
Right.
How does that work? And does it matter how?
It doesn't matter.
What matters is I know how it works, and that's why anything and everything that I want, I can have, because it's not about having. It's not about wanting.
Right. Things just happen, things when, if you want something bad enough, sometimes you're never going to get it. When you don't have any want whatsoever of anything, things will appear into your physical reality, because, okay, the universe is saying, okay, you're now operating in the energy field of not wanting anything. Therefore, you're being gifted with these things because you're supposed to eventually have them, but you didn't have to force yourself to try to get it. It came to you. And that's what it is.
Yeah. Once I create my podcast and I have Terrence Howard, Nassim Harriman, and whoever, all these other star knowledge people that we're connected with come on, then it's like, wow, it's like,
yeah,
did I do that? No, I didn't do that. I didn't do it.
You did nothing.
I don't take credit. I don't take credit for the creation of utilizing the purpose of why I'm here. Is it the purpose for me to interview Terrence Howard? No. The purpose is to practice the people call them gifts, right?
Right.
To practice these gifts that people say that we have, which is not a gift. Because I tell people, I say, because when I was doing a lot of healing work, and I don't say I'm a healer, I say I do healing work. And they would say, you really have a gift. And I say, well, if I have a gift, it's for you.
Right.
It's not for me. I don't even get paid to do this.
Right. And we all have, and the thing is, Eddie, what is true here, and this is Encounters, the #1 spiritual UFO talk show. And we have the famous Eddie, a wisdom keeper, who does the Star Knowledge conferences, which someday I hope I get to speak at. I would like to get April to join us too. Regarding what's going to be happening. But I do think that when people have no expectations, the most beautiful things happen on the awakening experience on this planet. When you have no expectations and you're not like just saying, oh, I don't have it yet. I need to have that crystal. I need to have this. I need to have, that beautiful big crystal. Oh man, that person has it, and look what it's doing for them. When you start not thinking that way, that because they have it, you don't have something. But everything, we are the crystal. And, people forget this. When I use the word, we are the crystal, folks, we are the crystal. Even though we are human, my analogy of me being the crystal is that we are the crystal of light. We are the crystal of knowledge. We are the crystal of unconditional understanding. Our crystal is vibrant, but we sometimes don't see it because we're too stuck with everything around us in the 3D world happening. We forget the crystal is right. We are the crystal. We don't need to go for the crystal. We are the crystal.
That's Christ consciousness. I mean, literally, We're full of water that has a crystalline structure. We call it blood because it's red, but it's literally just restructurized water into these different types of cells that are crystalline. You know, and it's held together by a primitive form, which is carbon. Our carbon is changing in our bodies, um, and that's because of what's happening in the in the galaxy, in the galactic, and our Milky Way galaxy. Literally, is we're growing, we're hurting, we're feeling physical pain. I mean, that's that we're going. That's not the same kind of pain. Like, I mean, I've felt pain before, but this is like a growing pain, and I'm like too old to be having growing pains. You know, these
Oh, you're
weird.
just you're just a baby there, Eddie.
I
Baby Eddie.
know. I know. I'm like, oh my gosh. Why is everybody still experiencing this like at 50 years old? Oh my gosh. That's and I love it.
Yeah.
People are like, you should take something for that. I go, no, 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 no. That is part of the experience. I had a spider bite or something on one of my arms, right? It was like just bulging, this
Yeah.
big, and people were like, you should get that looked at. I said, no. No, 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 no. That's medicine. That's the medicine. And I was like, yeah, it looks terrible. But I can feel that it's not gonna harm me. Like my arm's not gonna like decay and fall off.
Right.
And sure enough, it didn't. But it looked damaging.
Yeah, the looks can be deceiving. It looked damaging. Then obviously you wish it never had to happen, but it did happen. You were in control of your own consciousness. You knew yourself that you were not going to be decaying or falling apart or turning into a spider. You were perfectly fine, right?
Mhm. Absolutely, absolutely. That's the whole thing. Is this brother Nick just posted, Jesus loves us all. That the understanding of Jesus, there is this person that was called Emmanuel, but it was a cryptid name. The Emmanuel means he was with God, right?
Right.
That's the meaning of Emmanuel, that's what they called Jesus. That's actually from what my chief told me is a Pleiadian name. So if you believe in them or not, believe in Pleiadians or anything else religiously or not, there are the Emmanuel churches. We talked about that before.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
what the Emmanuel churches teach you is that you are. And that's what Jesus wanted when they called him Emmanuel. He wanted to say, like you're that's your name too.
Yeah, see? And you mentioned Jesus, and I have to mention this too. This is very important. So my friend April, who has been on the Ships on the Council meetings, she met Jesus, I think 2 or 3 times already. And Jesus, believe it or not, folks, is nothing like your earth-based religions that have been indoctrinating you about Jesus. Jesus actually is a very beautiful, funny person. Believe it or not, yet take him off the cross there with the little things around his head and the little nails in his, in the wood. That's not the Jesus. That's the earth-based, fear-based stuff that they perceive to tell people to keep them in a religion. Jesus is alive and well, and he's a space being on board the Ashtar ship. He's been in the council meetings, and I can tell you he has an incredible sense of humor. He's very loving, and he's nothing like the perceptions that all these religious people like to promote on TikTok or other places. That's not Jesus. The Jesus you're promoting is nothing like the Jesus we know, which is a star being who is he oversees the whole Ashtar Command. He oversees the whole grouping of all the star beings of light.
Well,
And
I was just about to ask I wonder what he's doing these days.
Yeah, he's on a spaceship with the command. He works with the command. He actually works very cool. He's a part of it. He's actually the overseer of all the galactic groups within the command. It's like when you speak of the United Nations and you think of, let's say, every country on the planet being part of what you call United Nations, you can look at the Ashtar Command being the intergalactic star nations or star planetary systems of light, that essentially represent every single council of light is under the Ashtar Command. And it is all related to what Jesus is about. He can tell jokes. She tells me he can tell jokes. He's very funny, but people on earth only know Jesus in this very limited belief system that has been taught for as many years as before we were here in current humanity. Even in the Roman Empire, the teachings of Jesus was based on limitation, not knowledge.
Right.
It was based on limitation.
I don't know if you guys know about the L's, but he's an L. So the L's are, so Jesus was his earthbound name. Emmanuel is the star name. And that's that. When I say the L's, I mean all the L's. Raphael, Gabriel, Jophiel. All of the angels that we talk about, it all ends in EL. Right. And the purpose for that, because their names actually have meaning to the purpose that they have in the cosmos.
Yeah. I just want to let people know we're at 53.3 thousand likes. I want everybody to tap my profile on me as I'm speaking. You will increase the likes if you do that. If you don't know where those hearts are coming from, if you tap the screen on my profile, you'll actually increase the likes. And we want to get up to 100,000 by 1:30 a.m. this morning. And my special guest here is Wisdom Keeper, Eddie. He does the Star Nation conferences that are well known throughout the world, and he's also a good friend. And it's been a long time since we've last seen him. So there's a lot going on here, and it's people need to get ready for what's happening. We're going to be seeing more and more individuals have contact. As April and I have discussed with people, there's going to be groups of 5 all over the world that are connect. We've had another group here that are connecting with each other on my show, another group of 5. Each group of 5 is going to be doing certain things. When the time is right, each group of 5 will be taken on the Ashtar ships and be taken to places to bring back information to bring to Earth. We are part of the first group of 5 that will be within less than a year going with April on the ship to different places, such as Atlantis. And Atlantis is not something that does not exist. It exists in the deep depths of our ocean in a slightly different frequency. And matter of fact, April went there, and the Atlanteans are very beautiful people. So there's a lot of things that are happening that people need to understand. That people need to understand that's happening, and it's all coming together in the most beautiful tapestry that I think all of you are going to, many of you can actually feel the changes happening on Earth. You can feel the changes happening beyond Earth, not to mention beyond Earth. But you now can feel that. I know many of you, I read your comments, many of you that I do know, I've known for a while, you understand the very foundation of where we're going as a planet. And it's definitely way beyond where we've been in our current history for the last 70 years, way beyond any of our Earth-based understandings of reality. And our reality is going to completely shift. And in order for people to be prepared for the shift, you have to be open and to, listen to what's happening. You need to be in a place where you're going to understand what we're talking about. Thank you for the hat and the mustache, Sloan. I'm deeply in gratitude for all of you out there, because I love everybody out there. And my mission is multidimensional. I'm a talk show host, but I'm also not from Earth. So how does that work? I've been trained in media, but I use my media background for the good of the planet. I use my media background where people can come together and share their visitations with space beings. I know many of you have had contact. Many of you have shared your stories over the last year. Plasma beings, light beings, men and women that look like us, people that have been abducted. We've helped those people. It's been a real hodgepodge of many different galactic cosmic things going on here. And we're having these important discussions, as Eddie and I are talking, that are so profound in terms of how we relate to each other and how we're going to relate to our space family when they come and land their ships, and they will be coming. How are we going to relate to them? I've been thinking about this in my meditations. when there's human beings, I've had some of these people come on and they make comments on the show here. In the comments, will say, "Oh, the space people are nothing more than demons." And I'm saying, "What are you talking about?" So when people say that, the only demons that exist are those that are negative human beings that call the space people demons. You are the people that are the demons, and I don't mean demons in the sense of some evil-looking whatever. Your perceptions of peaceful beings from other planets that you call the names. You are the ones that are actually don't understand what's going on. You don't have any understanding. You're so limited in your consciousness that anything that is beyond your belief system is a threat to your reality. You will demonize it, and because you don't understand it. People that call the star people, who are space people that are beautiful people, they call them names. And matter of fact, that is uncalled for, because you are the ones who do that, not the ones that come in or people on the internet, whatever. There are people that do that, and what they do is they say, "Oh, well, we have to defend ourselves against these space people that are coming to Earth." Yeah, because you're the ones who are the evil ones that want to destroy other people. You talk about defending the planet. No, those people out there that have that belief system are the ones that are evil, because they're the ones that are saying, "Oh, the evil ones are coming." But you're the ones that are evil, that are promoting violence against people that are coming to assist the planet.
But here's the thing: is they were taught that they were taught to be that way, and
Yeah, that's true.
They were taught to believe that. That's the unfortunate part about it is, and we can't change their minds.
Right.
That would be awesome if we could just be like, okay, well, if you give me a few moments and I can change your mind, would that be okay? And if they said, yeah,
Right.
sure. And I say, look, let me explain to you that we'll start with just the fact that what you're saying, with the words that are coming out of your mouth, how does it make you feel right now?
Right.
It makes me angry. Exactly. Do you see what I'm trying to say is I'm not saying that you're a bad person. What I'm saying is what you're saying is invoking a negative emotion that makes you think that feeling the way that you feel is valid.
Right.
Let me ask you, do you like feeling that way? No, of course I don't like feeling this way. Well, then if we talk about what's called resolve, and I'm not talking about a resolution. What I'm talking about, the resolve is the point in where this is what I do all the time when I have people call me and they're in that state of inner conflict.
That space, yeah.
I call it. I say I'm talking them off the ledge, because what literally happens is, like, I'll let them tell me, go through all the emotion and all the anger or sadness or whatever, frustration.
Yeah.
And then eventually by the end of it, we're laughing about nothing. And it's just like about the ridiculousness about things. And then they're like, "Oh my God." And I go, "So what were we talking about? What were we talking about that? You were upset about something? Were you upset about something?" Like,
were you upset?
Now that, like, I'm feeling better, and, like, I'm just realizing that it doesn't matter. Like, I was just taking things really hard, and I go, well, see, that's the importance of resonance. That's the importance of this conversation is not for me to add on to you know what, you're fucked. you're totally screwed. You might as well just, like, go jump in front of a bus, because I mean, but see, the thing is, I've gotten to the point in conversations where I've been allowed to say those things, and they go, wow, right, like, God, it's just, what I'm saying is just as ridiculous as stepping in front of a bus. I'm gonna go, see, this is where we're getting to the core of resonance. We're getting to the core of the people here that come in and they say all these evil things. It's backwards.
Right.
They don't realize that they're backwards. They're being backwards. They don't realize that what they're saying is it's so it causes them so much pain, and
Yeah.
then they just want to share that pain
Mm-hmm.
and frustration.
Yeah. You
And
know.
so she says it's not funny. I go, it is. It is funny. It is hilarious. And that's the thing is when I heard this man say this on TikTok, because somebody said, well, what do you do about demons? Like, what do you do when you come into contact with them? I say you, and he said, you laugh at them. And they said, well, what does that do? And he said, they go away when you laugh at them. And not a point and laugh, ha ha ha, but like to listen to it, like if it was like a comedian on stage and go and just to see how ridiculous it is, the things that they're saying that aren't in a harmonic state,
Right.
you
Right.
know.
And the thing is, when people see, we've had people say, they don't realize they come on here, the religious people, they just come here and just, they'll do this on other TikToks. They make comments like, you have to be saved, or they say, oh, the space people are this, or they're the big D or whatever. And I sit there and I say to myself, no, you got it wrong. I said, you are projecting negativity about people that are love, and you don't even see what you're saying is negative, and you are the one that is acting like that, not the space people. And then when you tell them that, they either stay and they say, oh yeah, or they don't stay, or they're just programmed in their belief system. And you can't force a person to change the belief system, but you can, as one person said here, you can put the seed there for that person to understand that they might have been brainwashed by their religions or whatever to get that belief system, because they've never experienced anything other than what they understand to be in their own reality of their life on this planet. And that's really the key.
She says, thinking of living 400 years was too depressing too. And here's the thing is I agree with that, River. I completely agree with that. The way that my body feels right now, just sitting here and my back hurting, there's no way I would want to live another 350 years with this kind of pain with my knees and joints and like stuff like that. I wouldn't. But if I was 20 years old for 400 years,
Yeah.
I'd be all right. And that's what I'm saying is like if I had that the way that my body healed and regenerated and repaired and it was strong, yeah, I could do it. No problem. No problem. No problem. 400 years would go by like a flash.
Yeah. And the thing is that we are going to be in a situation where our space family, and I know this to be true, they'll be bringing things to Earth that are going to help us and to remember who we are. They're not gonna hand feed us everything. They're gonna help us remember who we are. Meaning, our consciousness is going to be reactivated. Our cellular structure is going to be reactivated. Our DNA is going to be completely, in reality, reactivated. When all those three things are reactivated, we are going to be able to proceed and do things we've never been able to do in this human form. And we're going to have that ability soon. Now, some people, that's why I don't like channeling. When I was on Facebook for years, still on Facebook, all these people would channel all this stuff, lovey-dovey stuff, saying, we're coming, we love you, we're from the planet HIJ, HIJ, we love you. And just remember, we'll be back with you again with a new message tomorrow night with HIJ. We're the people that love you. You can't perceive our reality because our reality in your timeline doesn't even exist. When you get to graduate to our timeline, I guarantee you'll see HIJ and our planetary system of light. But you have to wait for a little bit longer. Don't just listen to our messages every night and you'll get to meet HIJ. What I'm trying to say is, and I think Eddie knows where I'm going with this, is that all these people that channel for years on Facebook, and I use that as a place because that's where I started from, and they still do it. There'll be 10 people channeling the same being or space group, and they all have the same message every year. And they say, we're with the Galactic Hocus Pocus group, and our Hocus Pocus group has been monitoring your life on Earth, and we want you to know we love you, and we will be there someday soon. And each year it's a new message. It's a new year now, and we are the Galactic Hocus Pocus group, and we still are here. We haven't forgotten you. We haven't left anybody behind. We are still channeling that message with Joan over there in New Jersey. And she lives right on the shoreline. We know where she lives. We visited her, and we are the Galactic Hocus Pocus group. So we want you to know that we are still with you. And I know you haven't seen us land any ships around Earth yet. We're going to eventually get there. We have to take time to get there. We're all the way out in the farthest reaches of the universe, and our ships are a little bit slow right now until we can go through warp speed, and we don't have that ability yet. So we're still waiting to get there. But we are intelligent people. We just are trying to let you know gradually we will come to Earth and we will be with you. So what I'm saying again is, for years people get disillusioned because they hear all these channelings saying we're going to come, we're going to come, we're going to come. Here we are. Nothing happens. So what I'm telling you is, folks, what's going to be happening in this timeline right now in the next year and a half, and it's already happening. I know that, Eddie, you know this to be true with all the people you've talked to. There are people now, and my show is a good example of it. Almost every week there's somebody who has had contact on a physical level with either over the past years with the negative ETs, and we've dealt with that part of it, but also with people that have had positive, beautiful experiences. And they're telling us their stories because there's really things starting to become activated. You know this to be true as well with the people in the circle of friends you know. There's a lot of contact happening now, but on a massive scale, we're looking at about a year and a half. And I think people need to just really get very focused and go about their daily work, whatever you do. If you're a teacher, if you work in a pizza place, whatever you do out there, and you still are your cosmic self, get focused. You know, that's really key. Really is a key factor.
I met Don at Don Brown 497. I met him at a Star Knowledge conference.
Oh,
he's in Mount Shasta. I was like, oh, whoa! I only know him from Facebook and from meeting him at the conference and talking.
There you go.
But yeah, somebody had said on here, some of them are malevolent, and I go, you know, I want people to understand that, you know, we're still, when we say stuff, make comments like that, we're talking about an intelligence that most of us can't, you know, because we think of things on a primitive level of what malevolence is, and I want to expand on that because I'm malevolent. I'm benevolent and I'm malevolent. I'm both. You know, everything that I can do, I have the power of creation and destruction within me. You know, and I embrace that, and I take responsibility for that, and that's why I choose to create when I choose to create. But I also know that when I create something else, when something else comes to life, something else dies. Whether it's an old way of thinking, whether it's experiencing a new type of emotion, whether it's having a new experience in life, the old experience dies. That's the destruction, because malevolent energy is the power of destruction. Evil is the backwards. That is the suction that pulls things. I mean, it's live backwards. That would we just use a word called, we say die. Right. But there's no such thing as death.
Yeah, no, death doesn't exist. So for me, what I would tell you is this, from my perspective, because this is, everyone's realities are different in the way we come here to do things. I know of both those energies, but also when you come from the stars where that doesn't exist. So when I come from before Earth, my energy is strictly of Christ consciousness. My energy here is Christ consciousness. If someone cuts me off on a road, yeah, I've said a few expletive deleted words as I'm driving on the interstate highway. It's the human part of our existence, right? So we are human.
Right here. This is what she said. She says, but reptilians are malevolent, correct? No. That's categorizing all reptilians as being malevolent. There are scientific, there is a science group of reptilians that have nothing to do with weapons or It's all they build crafts. They build spacecrafts. They travel on crafts. They don't just travel with
Right, but
insectoids that have crafts.
right,
They have,
but there has been recently. This is really important to know. The Ashtar Command had somebody. They were and some of our people that we talked to. There was a woman. She had 60 reptilians in caverns under where she lived, and they were not good. And there is a program that the command is involved with in rounding up on the planet all the negative beings that are interfering with people's lives, and it's been happening, and it's been happening for a lot of years.
well,
And
see, they're not allowed to eat humans anymore. They used to be allowed before the Federation got involved. They used to come here and eat humans like they were just like snacks. They would just come and pick them up and then just eat them.
yeah,
Just like
so a
the
lot
race
of
experimentation. They're not allowed to
right.
do that anymore.
Well, they're being rounded up. There've been,
Yeah.
I can tell you, I've actually sent Ashtar ships, and this I didn't when you first met me, I wasn't doing this. I've been downloaded with the ability by the command to send spaceships to different locations from people I've interviewed on here. Right when they're on the air, on the show, they'll tell me I had a person in Vermont. He had reptilians in a cave underneath his house in the same town I went to school in Vermont, to college. And I remember this, I sent the ship up. We sent the Ashtar Command into the cave underneath in the woods, and the reptilians were taken off planet. We did some work with him. We did some clearing energy. The command came in. We had some space people in his house. And by the time we were done, he's never had the experience again. They took him. There's a holding ground. There's a few places that the command has set in the remote areas in the U.S. and some other places that are remote, and they are taking the reptilians and other negative ETs. They're being put on specially made ships that are taking these ETs off planet. They're not being allowed to come back here and do any more hanky panky. The command has had it with all this garbage, and they're getting, so there is things that need to be understood. Like in anything, you can have good and bad in everybody, but so far the majority of what has been happening is they tend to lie and try to put instill fear in people, which is to try to control the situation of humanity, and their time of control of Earth is over. They're going to be taken right off the planet.
They're small groups. They're rogue.
They're small
They're
groups.
rogue groups.
They're rogue. They're rogue groups.
Okay, so Don lives in Mount Shasta. I used to live in Mount Shasta, so yeah, Mount Shasta has it all. I mean, geez, man. I mean, the reptilians that are in Mount Shasta, they're not rogue. They don't eat people. They don't find mutilated animals and humans everywhere. They're not allowed. They're not. They have their own food supply, and that's the only way that they can stay is if they have their own food while they're here. So that's just like us, right? We don't just go out and I don't just go out and shoot a cat and just I leave the carcass in the back after I'm done, right? We generally do things in a certain way that we call, like what is it? Humanity. We do things humane.
Humane. The word humane.
Right, and they try to do things according to the way things are done here, which it's still the same, but it's just, but they have their own way, But like you're talking about Galactic Federation law, you have to there was rogue grays that come in and still did not abide by the Galactic Federation, and they started hiding here because they wanted to continue the research, and the research was because they don't want to die. They want to be able to regenerate, and they can't because they don't have any sexual organs.
Right. And they're very much limited to. Matter of fact, we're going to bring this person up, Eddie. Brian D. I feel like I've been visited by space people tonight. I think we need to bring that person up. Let's see here. Brian D., if you'll come up and accept my request, I want to hear your story. I feel like I've been visited by space people tonight. This is Encounters. Brian, you're being invited up. If you don't know how to come on, accept the request button. Okay, we're going to get Brian up here. Okay, I think we have Brian. Hey, Brian, welcome to the show.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. I read your comment. I feel like I've been visited by space people tonight. Can you go on? Can you bring your camera on? Are you able to do that?
No, I don't know. I'm like in bed right now, so.
Oh, forget. Don't worry about that. So, when you say you feel you've been visited by space people tonight, can you expand on that? Where you're located?
Well, yeah, I'm in West Virginia,
West Virginia.
and
Okay.
I've just had a like all day long. I was looking at TikTok and seeing all kinds of negative stuff, and listening to you guys talk. It's been such a breath of fresh air just to hear the positivity, and I just feel so connected right now that I feel as though that presence is here.
Yeah.
I feel like a presence, and it feels good. It's so positive. Everything I've been hearing lately is negative and threatening
Right. Right.
and frightening and like a punishment for like
Right.
if you're not doing the right things and that sort of thing. So I feel like a presence of peace
Mm-hmm.
is
Mm-hmm.
what I've been feeling tonight.
Mm-hmm. And but you said you felt like you're being visited by space people. Can you kind of elaborate a little bit more on that?
Um, well, I noticed that on our deck we have a light that activates when somebody's there,
Mm-hmm.
and it activated a couple of times tonight as if somebody was there,
Mm-hmm.
and I just thought that was really interesting, and it wasn't something that was frightening to me, but
Okay.
it was as if something was moving around.
Mm-hmm. Are you in the country? I know West Virginia. I may have been through West Virginia. Are
Yeah,
you in the
yeah, we're
mountains or
definitely out in the
something?
country.
Okay, that makes sense. That would be a good place to have visitation. You
Yeah, I
know.
just felt it really strongly, and I just
Mm-hmm.
was encouraged to say that.
Well, I'm glad you came on and said that because I read the comment. I said I'll bring you up here. I want to hear what you have to say. It's
I
much nicer
appreciate
to
that.
hear the comment. You know.
Yeah, yeah, I
All
appreciate
right.
that. Thank you.
Hey, don't forget
Okay.
too. Sometimes that presence that you're feeling, that when you're feeling that good presence, you're just feeling yourself too, man.
Yeah,
You know, I mean,
yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds good
we're
too.
talking about resonance when you're hearing the commander. See, we're communicating as humans, but there's another thing that's happening between the commander and myself, and that is we're creating a story, and we're creating sound, vibration, energy, connection. There's no disharmony in our conversation. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not like, well, you're wrong, or what he's saying. Well, well, to add to, or
Right.
from another point of view, there's this. See, this is the harmonic resonance that we're creating. We're just talking,
Yeah.
and we could
Basically.
be talking about nothing, and still you would feel the way that you're feeling and about this conversation right now, because it's what we're creating, and that's
Right. And
what we're
if
doing
and
within.
even if we were talking about nothing, it would be exciting because we are the kind of individuals that wouldn't be boring to talk about nothing.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I did get definitely a very positive feeling listening to you guys.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you.
you're a part of it. Now,
Yeah.
now you are a part of it, and because what I want you to understand personally is that this is just flesh. That the being that's inside talking through that flesh suit right now, called Brian D, is exactly the same light being thing that we all are. Maybe you just don't remember yet, or maybe you're starting to remember. And
Right.
if
Could
you
be.
don't remember, that's okay. It's not something that you have to chase.
Right. You don't have to
Just
chase anything. It's right
yeah,
there.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's great. I really have enjoyed it.
Well, we appreciate you, man, finding the show. And let people know all our shows are on the Ashtar Command Spaceship News channel on my channel on YouTube. So last night's show will be on there tomorrow. Tonight's show that's being recorded will be on there at some point tomorrow. All our shows in the past can be watched. If you're new to the program, we're on nightly at around 11 o'clock. We do on NPR Pacific Radio. I'm on for 21 years with the Ashtar Command Cosmic Eye Show. And I'm a contactee, so I have a lot of multiple knowledge. That's why I can talk about all these things, because I am still learning things. I'm still getting downloads. I'm still expanding. I've never stopped expanding. And I'm also going to be going off planet, next about less than a year, on an Ashtar Command ship physically. So I can tell you that I have a great deal of knowledge about disclosure, about telling you the truth that you're not going to find anywhere else, because we do on TikTok an actual show. We're not here butting heads with people about whether the Earth is a square, flat, looks like a pencil, or a little crayon or something. The Earth is a crayon, so I have to tell. No, I'm just kidding. But it's just we don't get into those wasted energy things of thoughts that just collide with each other, and there's no harmony, there's no understanding. It's just all an illusion, But we appreciate Brian being here, and thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I've really enjoyed your show tonight.
Oh, thank you so much. And people, become a subscriber. If you have TikTok coins, even if you have TikTok coins and you're broke right now, don't worry about it as long as you're watching the show. If you do have TikTok coins, please do some gifting for me. And if you believe in what we're doing here, we spend a lot of time doing these shows, and we are very committed to the work we're doing here on the Encounters show. So I'm going to take Brian out. Brian, thank you again for being our guest on our show. And we're getting up to about 1:30 a.m. in the morning. It's getting late on the East Coast here. So maybe we might go for one more person. I'll see. I'm going to answer some questions. A person asked a question. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you very much. One person says here, and I got to find it, schoolistic in the Schoolistic Federation. Well, there's not really a Schoolistic Federation. There's an Ashtar Command, which represents all the galactic planetary systems of light. There's not all these separate groups that people think there are. Let's see what she says. Could the dinosaurs be draconians or reptilians? Could dinosaurs are dinosaurs? Draconians are a different group of beings, and reptilians are a whole different group of beings. So they're not all connected, but they all come from a certain vibrational pattern or frequency. Let's see.
Yeah, Earth. I want to say Earth is a young planet. Okay, in the Goldilocks zone of life, right? So when we look at things like a dinosaur, that's a primitive version of something that is ancient out in the galaxy.
Right.
A mushroom is a primitive life form of something that is ancient out. Because if you've seen what a mushroom looks like, the ancient ones, it would freak you out. It would scare the living daylights out of you. You would think it was evil, and it's not. It's just very, very old. These. If like some people believe that the Greys are humanoids that are very, very, very ancient. That's what they call them Zeta, Z, the end. That's how old they are, and they're at the end of their lifestyle. That's why the Galactic Federation called them Zetas, because they're one of the most oldest ones. They don't even have reproductive organs. How can they even be alive?
Right, and part of that is because the Zetas messed up their worlds. They were human, they were intelligent, and they had created very advanced cities. When they got to the advanced part of cities and all the stuff they did, they went too far. And when they did was that they essentially ended up using things that created radiation on their planets. They had to go underground on their planets. So they changed their molecular structure of their bodies, where they actually ceased to have still a humanoid look, but their whole complexion changed. Everything about them changed. The men and women who were from the Zeta Reticuli, who used to be human in terms of the way Eddie and I look, became less like what we look like because they messed up their planet. They thought they were doing the right thing. They became so advanced that they ended up having to come here because of our DNA, which is different than their DNA, and lost their emotional effect. They wanted to get back to human emotion, the love, everything, which they lost. But because they went so far out, it's hard for them to do that. They're not going to be able to ascend, unfortunately, to where we're going right now, because they've actually locked themselves into a situation that they created.
Yeah, it's their species is going to end. I mean, it's inevitable, but they're something inside of them is just like it has that will to live,
Right.
And to procreate again. It's just I'm sure it's just a part of nature. But that's why they study us, because we're like a primitive version of that, even though we're mixed. We're a mixed version of just them. Their race was something else. I don't even know. But yeah, we're a mix of a lot of things. Because somebody said, our reptiles, like, are what are what is that?
I'm not sure. Well, there's some
we
humans.
have a reptilian part of our brain.
Well, some humans are what you call hybrid, but people need to understand that not everybody on this planet that came here, and I'm just using myself as an example more than anything else, that I'm not a hybrid. I have no mixed anything. I came directly from a Christed level from the command, and many of the command people just come from that purity of where they came from their planetary system.
That's not what I
But
mean.
it's true.
That's not
You
what I
meant
mean.
something else.
What I mean is the biological entity that a human is a mix.
Yeah.
It's a mix of all those different species that are from the Galactic Federation. I don't want to say that we're a because some people, they say that we're like a project to them, and I'm like, no. It's not a project. They're just contributors to this planet Eden. So everything that we look at, like I said, the trees, the mushrooms, the lizards,
Right.
the little lizards, the little reptiles, and then you got the big ancient reptilians. This is a very primitive planet still, and we are, as a human, as the species, not the being inside. I'm not talking about that.
Right.
I'm talking about
You're talking about the human part of us, not the non-human.
They say it's a human project, and I'm like, well, I don't know if it's
not really.
I don't know.
So there's like the human consciousness, and then there's the cosmic consciousness. So so when we come here, like if you had to marry someone from China and you're from Utah or something, therefore now you're integrating your different cultures and also becoming not just purely an American person. You now have a little bit of Asian in your physical makeup. So that's an integration of different, you can say hybrid between marrying someone from India and you're from, let's say, Russia. So in a sense, I'm using an Earth-based analogy, but in a sense, that would be a sense of that integration. Now, if you are looking at yourself, if you come into a form where, like, your family has part Russian, Polish, Mongolian, and I can say for my family, I have a mixture of all those things. You could say, okay, that's a hybridization of the different parts of the Earth culture. So I do have Mongolian in me, although might not look like Mongolian. So there's there's a little ancient history there. So we do have on the Earth level these mixtures of culture that we do have a mixture of. It's like taking a drink of lemonade and saying, well, I'm going to have some lemonade, but I think I'm going to put some strawberry juice in it. Oh, I think I'll put some blueberry juice in it. Now you got the lemonade, the blueberry juice, and the strawberry juice. Well, you've now mixed them up. So I guess you can say it's a hybridization of different things, in terms of the juice. The juice is sweet. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So and what you're saying, Eddie, is true. We do have that level. When you wake up, though, those of us who are awake will either know. I've had people on here that will say, "Hey, April's on here. I want to bring April up here. I want you to meet my friend April." And she probably just got home from work, or she's home, and you're going to love her. We're the ones working together and going off planet. And
April.
Hello.
Yes,
How are you?
Hey, April, how you doing?
I'm good. Just got home.
I kind of figured that. How was work? Pretty good?
Well, yeah, I just got home off planet.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Is this number 32 or number 33?
No, it's well, yeah, oh my God, yes, I guess so. Yes, it's 32.
I knew you were off planet tonight. I didn't say a word to anybody. I knew they were taking you off planet tonight. So This is Eddie, and we've been talking a lot of beautiful things here. So you want to give Eddie a background of what's going on with us, because I think he'd be interested.
So the commander and I met about a year or so ago, here on TikTok. I was actually one of his guests on here, but I was like drawn and led to his show. Um, and I was led to his show by our star families. And in the midst of all this happening, contact had started happening with myself. And I had been up a couple of times, and in the first few contacts, they revealed to me that I was part of a team, but I wasn't at the beginning. Did not know how many were in the team. It was all very cryptid in the way that they spoke to me. But we ended up finding out that there was 5 of us that were in our team, and then later on we ended up finding out there are 15 groups of 5 people across the world that will be helping usher the space people when big contact happens into humanity. And we also each team has a separate mission that we are not allowed to share with the public as of yet. But so they choose one point person in each group that will go up and gather information and go to meetings and then come back and share with the group. And then just before contact happens, the whole group goes up and is given gifts, and will be taken, like our group in particular, will be taken to two different destinations and given gifts. Basically, like something along the lines of superhuman gifts to fulfill our mission that we need to do, the one that we're not allowed to share yet. And then and there's so much more. There's a lot of other stuff in there. Also, myself, I also am in contact with fairy folk and Bigfoot beings. And I will also be ushering them into humanity as well. But as far as our group goes, that's the dynamic of our group. We have myself, I'm the point person, and then it goes Johnny, Kit Kat, Commander, and Chesno. And each one of us have serve a different purpose to the group. Commander is communications. Johnny of the Third Eye. He is our head healer. He's actually the head healer up in space. Thank you guys. And then Kit Kat is security. She's like she's security. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. And then Chesno is our inventor.
Yeah, he
He's our
is.
tech person.
Yeah. And that's giving you a basic understanding. Now, as I said, she just came back. I knew she went off planet because I didn't see her green light on tonight. I was checking in just to see. I said she would have been on already. So is there anything, April, you can tell us that can be publicly shared tonight on the show?
Give me just a second, Commander.
Yeah, no problem. I just hope you don't get taken off planet again because the dog's barking. She's up in the mountains up in Vermont, and they just took her off planet. They're not going to do it again. I guarantee you, folks. Don't worry about that.
Let me show you something cool. Hold on. Just got something. And I was like, oh man, I've been waiting for this. Yeah, right here. Okay. I get excited about the little things in life, right?
Yeah.
So I told you about the whole connection with Project Blue Book.
Yeah.
So they actually made a comic book about Project Blue Book.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who made that?
It's from the Dark Horse comics. Look at these covers. Look at that.
Oh, wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's the husband and wife that got taken up on the ship. This one is where he actually goes up to the ship and he gets taken. And this is just one that has the name on it. And then I think they look the same, but I think one was just a second print.
Interesting.
And then the last one.
Now, what are these?
These are comic
this is comic books.
for Project Blue Book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
that one picture that you showed. Can I see that one of the mountains?
Oh yeah, reminds me of Mount Shasta.
Commander, what does that look like? Doesn't that look
That
like my
look,
mountain?
yeah,
Isn't that
it
crazy?
does. It looks like the mountains like she has in Vermont.
That's
It
cool.
reminds, well, this, I had heard the story, Betty, and I can't remember her husband's name.
Oh, Bonnie Hill, Betty and Bonnie Hill.
Betty, yeah, that's them.
I met Betty Hill in New Hampshire in the 1990s at a UFO conference.
Oh wow.
You
Yeah,
know, the
she was
crazy thing is I didn't know anything about star seeds or any of that when first contact started happening for me. Like I knew nothing about it. Like I knew I have always been able to see the fairy folk. I've had the fairy sight all my life. I've also been able to see spirit. But I knew nothing about I mean I
yeah,
knew that UFOs existed. I knew that space
yep,
people existed, but I wasn't I wasn't into any of that stuff, not really. I was guided to the commander show just by chance, and the
yeah. It
stuff he
was
was
weird.
talking about started ringing true for me, and I was like, oh, okay. So and then, I don't know what happened, but I ended up coming up on the show with him. He made me feel very comfortable, and I started opening up, and then things just immediately
Yeah,
started
then contact
happening.
started happening, and she started going
Right.
off planet with the command. It's really kind of amazing because I almost would have never been on TikTok if I hadn't been pushed by some of my friends. Commander, you need to bring your message on here and do a show. I said, what? I thought it was a whole bunch of kids on here. And then when I got on here, I looked at it a little bit. I said, oh, there are adults on here having conversations and hitting each over the head about nothingness. And I should get on here and actually do a show. So that's how we met. And so I'm curious because I know you just came back off planet, back on planet from being off planet. Is there anything that we should know that I have a feeling you were away for a little bit of time? What's going on?
Nothing. We just had a lot of different meetings, but I still have to process everything, Commander. I just
Oh yeah, you just got
got
yeah.
back.
You're gonna have to process. Yeah, it's gonna
Yeah,
yeah
it's a
because
lot.
you were. Well, how many people are in the meetings? Quite a bit.
Yeah, actually, there was like ten different space people in the meetings, and a couple of Bigfoot beings in the meetings. But
Interesting.
yeah, yeah,
Interesting.
it was about our our Bigfoot meetings that are going to be happening soon here. If you don't know and you're kind of new to all this, the elder Bigfoots have been in contact with me. I was taken aboard an Ashtar Command ship and met by an elder Bigfoot, and I was told I was being called, and I didn't know what any of that meant. I have a Bigfoot family that I'm in constant contact with, and one of the Bigfoots is like one of my best friends. His name is Pumpkin, and I guess that apparently they've been speaking very highly of me, and the elder Bigfoot. I'm so sorry, my dog. Give me
It's
just a
okay.
second.
My cat does her meowing and she's sleeping. Thank goodness. But that's okay. So she's basically been taken, off planet, and the Bigfoots can speak English and they're very intelligent, and it's an amazing story that we have. It's almost
Sorry
if you
about
had
that.
to, it's an amazing story. As April is like a sister to me, um, how all this unfolded coming on TikTok. In a million years, I would have never thought this was going to happen the way it happened, Eddie. And it's just as you're hearing it, it's really a beautiful story. It's a story that's unfolding every couple of days.
Oh yeah.
It's a
There was
it's a
there was a really weird, strange thing that had happened, and one of my a woman at work, that I know, and we're friends. We're very cordial with each other. Came up. I mean, out of anybody in that whole plant, she could have walked up to. She walked up to me, and she said a specific name, and I'm just like, what? And she said it again, and she goes, I got to tell you something. She goes, I had the weirdest experience, and she said that, and she went on to tell me her story, and she goes, you got a second to still, and she goes, please don't think I'm crazy, and she goes, but I don't know why, but I feel like I need to tell you this. And I'm just like, okay. So we sat down and we talked for a second, and she went on, the name that she called was the elder Bigfoot female's name, and she she just walked up to me and was saying it, and then she said that the elder Bigfoot even corrected her because she pronounced it wrong, and I was like, wow. So I that was a little bit actually of the meeting. I guess she's another human that is being called. But that to me just totally blew me out of the water because I don't know this woman like that. Like I only know her from work and in passing, but I don't know her like that. And that name, she just came up to me and threw that name out. And anyway, so there's going to be a meeting off planet, and the Bigfoots are the ones choosing this small handful of humans. And they came to me and said that I was called and that they wanted me to represent the Bigfoots and ushering them into humanity, because along with the good space people, the Bigfoots have been there working alongside of them this whole time. They've been helping humanity, and we don't even know this about them. That they've been the ones opening the portals to let the good space beings in as they're coming. The dimensional ships are coming in. These guys have been here defending our realm. There's been a lot that a lot of people do not know about these beings. Not only are they very kind and loving beings, people, they put a scary face on it and then hear stories and they automatically assume
Right.
these are bad beings, and they're not. They speak
Yeah.
several different languages, are highly
Yeah.
intelligent, and they have this magic within them that they can create these sparks that open these portals, you know but they've lived amongst us for a very, very long time. And so the Bigfoots are going to be having this big secret meeting off planet, and they called upon me to do that, and they're choosing some other humans that are going to be allowed into this meeting, but they are the ones choosing them. And so that's what our meeting was about that. It's with the Ashtar Command and with the Bigfoots.
Pretty amazing, isn't it, Eddie?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's I've been doing this for so long, nothing surprises me.
Well, I know you're the person that would never be surprised by something
No.
like this.
Oh my gosh! I just got to say, like, I've seen since I'd say since 2011, to go and to make contact, or just even a chance, like looking up and seeing ships and stuff is like, it doesn't like we were talking earlier, it doesn't have that shock or that wow factor to me anymore.
Right.
It's more
Right.
like, what's the message?
Well, because the elder that you worked with, the chief, had always seen the spaceships and always had the contacts when he was alive. You shared many of those stories about him, which were beautiful stories. And, so what April is doing, and this person asking, how does someone choose, asking April the question, why were you chosen, I guess is the question. And I'll let April answer that because I don't want to answer for April.
Because of my contact with the Bigfoots, I've been in contact with Bigfoot beings for years and years and years, and I'm very, very friendly with them. Like I said, one of my best friends is a Bigfoot. His name is Pumpkin. And I'm really close with his family, and they were the ones that asked. They were the ones, I guess, the family of Bigfoots that I am in contact with. I was not completely aware how integrated they were with the Ashtar Command and with the elder Bigfoots. So they were the ones that put my name out there, and so that's kind of how it happened.
Yeah, it's interesting. So, and there's a lot going on. Like, for example, before the big contact happens, way before that, obviously, as she mentioned, Chesno, Kit Kat, Johnny, myself will be joining April, and we'll be going probably, I would say, and again, I don't have they're when they tell April this is going to happen, they don't operate in time like we operate in time. When we say, okay, 5 o'clock, it's time for dinner, there's no 5 o'clock, it's time for dinner on the spaceship. There's no time. So, but we are understanding, and my consciousness understands when I perceive the knowledge of this, that I'm pretty sure in the next 12 months or less, they'll know when they're going to come, and there'll be a rift that will open. The rift, for people that don't know what a rift is, and April's explained it very, very well. It's an opening. So, like, I have a window here. If they come in through the rift on the spaceship, they're on the spaceship, and in 2 nanoseconds, they're in my living room, and I say, Commander, it's time to go. I will go through the rift, however that works, and I will be on the spaceship within 2 seconds.
Yep, I missed the bus once. Never do it again. I'm serious. When I was
No, I know
about
you
to
are.
go up, I freaked out.
Completely understand, because I did the same thing when I first had contact. I slammed the door in my space father's face because
Right.
it startled me, and I did, and he laughed. He
yeah.
laughed. My very
Yeah,
first
she had no
contact.
idea. She had no idea. When she tells that story, I laugh now only because, thank goodness she realized that, they came finally, and she saw her father, she saw her mother, she saw her family. Then when she contacted me for the first time and started going off planet, then I find out not only are we friends on planet, but our families know each other on the same spaceship. My father's Rubar, my mother's Luna, Tara is one of my sisters, and I have one other sister and a brother. So not only am I looking forward to my mission work, but I'm looking forward to reunification or reuniting with my family off planet. I'm going to give everybody a big hug. They know that. I'm a hugger. I like to hug people. So
Our families are very, very close. Our families, both mine and the commander's family, sit on the High Council, and it's not just Kit Kat is also my star sister. She also my parents are her parents as well. So it's funny because we have a very tight knit group off planet. Commander and I grew up together, went to school together. Um, um, Johnny of the Third Eye is my closest confidant. He's my best friend off planet, and Kit Kat is too. We're all like best friends. It's so funny because we are best friends off planet. We all grew up together, all went to school together, the whole nines, and our families are very, very tight knit. Like wherever one moves, the other one moves. If one's on a ship, the other family's on the ship. They don't move without each other. They are very close knit together. That's the way they do things in like family pods, and that's the way our families are together.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a beautiful. The whole story is beautiful. The way everything. It's a tapestry of life that is profound. When you understand all your life that you weren't from here, you came to Earth as I did as a kid, before there was internet, before there was Facebook, TikTok, whatever, and you realize that you're different because you don't feel like you're part of the human race, and that's the way I always felt. Like, I mean, I had to be part of it, but I didn't feel a part of it. It hasn't been easy living on this planet, if we were to be honest with ourselves. There are days when it's like it hasn't been easy to be doing the human thing, because it was much easier not to be here and be traveling the universe and doing other things. But we chose to be here. For whatever reason, I volunteered to come here. I know April did. I know you did, Eddie, and we volunteered to be here, to have this incredible human experience. As it might be all kinds of weird stuff going on Earth, we came to accept the reality that we're here. Okay, we're here. We have to not only make the best of it, but we can also make it the best place to remember who we are, what we want, what we don't want to see. We just all the experiences of wars, peace, love, everything in this human environment. It's meant for us to relearn who we are, and to, when we go back to our families off planet, we will not repeat what people have done on this planet to Earth. That we will be we're lighting up the flames of our inner knowledge to be able to help people. That's what we're all here to do, really. We're here to help each other, love each other, hug each other,
Walking each other home. I think it was one of the hardest things for me to accept. It was really hard to accept that when I was younger, and I'd have dreams about other planets, or not even being another being, just like cruising the landscape of a planet that was that it had its own life, but it was like a baby. It was a planet. I'm like this being floating around, but the planet was a baby, and I was there nurturing it, and moving things and shifting things. And those were memories from my childhood, and I was like, it's got to be like just a dream or something. And it's because it's really hard for a human to accept that we're not just human, that
Right.
we're beyond. This is just
There are certain groups of humans that have been working with the space people and the Bigfoots for a very long time. The Alaskans are another group of people that have been working with the space people for a very long time. When I was in the space station in Alaska, when we traveled there, and I was hearing the testimony of the sea beings, the there was some Alaskan people that were actually on the station that I didn't get to speak to them, but I did see them, and I recognized them because you know how they have some of the women might have those three tattoos that go down their lips, down their chins. Well, that's there was a couple of I saw one woman that had those down her chin, and then a couple of males that were walking around doing stuff, but I saw them in the background doing like doing busy work, and I don't know what they were doing, and I didn't get a chance to speak with them, but they're there in the background. There are humans that work with these beings and have been working with them for a very long time. So
Yeah.
and your people as well have been working with them, and alongside of the Bigfoots too, they've been very big keepers of their secrets. The same, like the same with me. Like I don't give up all their secrets. I talk about them and I say why they can't ever be caught, but I
Right.
don't give up all their secrets.
No, those are things people don't really need to know. And some secrets are meant to be secrets because that's what they're supposed to be, right?
Right. Because beings can't ever can control themselves.
Yeah.
we make a lot of mistakes, and they understand that. But their absolute one law though is that they do not hurt humans. That is one of their biggest laws, is that a human is to never be harmed. So that's why you'll always see them running away. You'll never see them running at a human, like trying to hurt a human, but you will see them running from them.
Right. That's absolutely the truth. And humans tend to these crazy shows on I've seen over the years, sensationalized shows where they're trying to capture these Bigfoot in North Carolina, and these yahoos, these 4 or 5 guys, bunch of yahoos in camouflage outfits, got paid a lot of money to do a series of shows where they were trying to capture the Bigfoot, and they tried to put it. They thought they had him in like a wood shack. They got him. Oh yeah, we got one. It's like, why would you promote that kind of programming on cable TV on a big network like Discovery or History, whatever the channel was, Travel Channel maybe I think it was? Why would you do that and put that in the perception of the human consciousness?
Right.
Because now you're perceiving to say everyone needs to go out there and try to capture a Bigfoot. How would you like it if I was running down the street and say, oh, there's CmdrAleon, we need to capture him. Oh, there's Eddie, April, we need to capture them because they're saying they're from off planet, and we can't have that. We need to capture those 3 people. It's the same thing as capturing a Bigfoot. Why would you even assume to even do that? It goes against everything in the core of our being that I believe in, and it's you need to take those shows off the air because there are people in the public that will be gullible enough to perceive, oh yeah, let's do what they're doing. We'll go out in the woods and we'll capture a couple of Bigfoot and their kids. No,
It was
and
that
it's
one guest that you had on. Remember, he was talking about when he first started seeing the ships. He
yeah,
first took out his pew pew and started, pew pewing at the ship, and then when he realized that he could actually talk to the ship, he calmed down and put that pew pew away and started actually having conversation with the ship, and the ship would show up, and come and do stuff for him, and do crop circles and whatnot for this person, and he ended up, really enjoying these beings' company, and it was just a whole change of heart once they realized that these beings aren't here to hurt anybody. They're
right.
coming to help us.
Yeah, absolutely correct. Well, we're getting to about 2:02 in the morning, and I've been on since 11 p.m. on the East Coast, folks. And this show and all my shows are on the Ashtar Command Spaceship News channel on YouTube. Please watch them. The show from last night will be on my YouTube channel tomorrow, and this show will also be there. I want to give last-minute comments to Ed and then April, and then I want to thank all of you for watching our show, the most popular spiritual UFO show on social media. And I want to thank everyone for being here, all the gifting. Thank you. So I'll turn it over to Ed and then April, and then we're going to call it a night until tomorrow night.
Mm-hmm. Well, just a little reminder to everyone. You're never alone. You're never alone. Even when you feel lonely, you're never alone. There's so much happening around you that you don't even know. But if you want to know, it's like we were talking about earlier. Just find your center, and then you'll start to understand, and you'll feel the presence or the presences around you, and you'll feel the love that comes from them, and you might even hear them. So just don't forget that you're never alone. You never were,
and you never will be.
No,
Ed, thank you.
so
Thank
much
you,
going
Ed.
on around us, guys. We really do, and I just want to kind of bounce off of that. We have so much going on around us, and the veil is thinning every day, guys. These beings are making themselves present to us more and more every day. Our space families are reaching out to us every single day. There's more and more contact happening, and if you want to know how to contact your space family, reach into your inner self, start learning to meditate, go outside, ground yourself, look up to the skies, and just breathe, calm down. Don't try so hard, and it will happen for you. And I love everybody. Rivers Blues, you won't have to worry about getting dressed. You can go in your pajamas. You will be put into a spacesuit. I am always being taken in my pajamas.
Oh
Trust
yeah,
me, it's not funny.
that is. I gotta say something. That is true. When she first was going off planet, she was in her pajamas, and they put her in a spacesuit. This is one thing. When I eventually go off planet with her and the other four, uh, we will go into the ship, and the suit comes already on our body, and we'll have a spacesuit on so we can breathe the air. There is air to breathe. The air is a little bit slightly different, so we'll be in a spacesuit, but we'll be able to eat food on the ship. And from what I understand from April telling us this, the food that's on the ship is really healthy, and because they're all vegetarians, so we'll be eating some really healthy food, and wearing these spacesuits.
Yep, that's
Am
true.
I going to do a Saturday meditation? Well, Saturday night we're having our Ashtar Command Q&A for people. So you want to join us then? My father, her father, I'm sure the rest of the people on the ship, they watch our show right now. They're watching the show on monitoring screens. So I should mention they've been watching the whole show. Even before April came on here, they watched the show from the spaceship. They saw Eddie's face. They know what Eddie looks like. So you're well now in the galactic universe, Eddie.
Oh, I've been
And
known.
no
Before I
pun
was even in
intended.
this
Yeah.
form, man. That's the part that because I would always say, "Why me?" Right? We were talking about that earlier, and I was like, and people are always like, "Why not you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, come on, man,
Yeah,
give
why
me more
not?
than that." And it was like I never forgot, and I just had to I had to accept I'd accept it.
That's funny because I said the same thing. When we went to the council and I met with Jesus, I asked him the same question. I was like, "Why me? Like I'm nobody special. Why? I didn't understand why me. And the only answer I got was you were a mother, and I'm supposed to somehow figure that out." So
Yeah,
I'm just like,
and you
okay.
probably will, because I don't even know what that means. But and so, see, I was telling Eddie, you've met Jesus how many times on the ship?
Twice now. Well, 3 times
And,
now.
and Jesus is very funny, isn't he?
Yes, he is. He's just like talking to your little brother, actually. He's got quite the sense of humor. He's quick to the
Yeah,
wit.
quick to wit. And I was telling Eddie how, and everybody, how Jesus oversees the Ashtar Command. He
Yes.
oversees the whole
He sits
nut
at the
and
head of the
caboodle.
table.
Yeah, you know. All right, folks. Well, before the commander fades, I want to thank you all for being here. Eddie, April, everybody, all the people around the world watching this. If you want to be a guest tomorrow night and you weren't able to be a guest, you have to have over 50 followers now. I guess it's a new rule, which is way different than when I came on here. And then that's for audio. And then I think it's still 800, unless they load that, to become on video and audio. So we will take guest interviews tomorrow night. Again, make sure you tell me what you want to talk about, and we will. It has to be related to the cosmic galactic. It could be visitations, a disclosure, your recording sightings of spaceships, whatever it might be. We need to know that. I'm gonna sign out here because I'm fading a little bit, and I want to thank April for coming back to Earth, and I hope you had a great time off planet. And soon we will all be going together, and I'll be able to see my family, my mother, my father, my two sisters. But I did have my sister visit me, and she was in the crystal room, and I was going in the kitchen that other night. And if you want to see the video, she calls out my biological name, and she calls me out twice. There's a whole storyline behind it, but I'm too tired to talk about it now. So, April, thanks for being here, sister, and we'll catch you if you're on early tomorrow night. I'll stop in and listen to what's going on.
All right. I love everybody. You guys have a good night.
You too, everybody. Peace, love, and light. This is the Commander signing out. Encounters, a show that's out of this world. We'll see you tomorrow night, folks.